We're good. All right. Welcome, everybody. We'll call the meeting to order. It is 6:30 p.m. on January 20th, 2026. Do we have any additions to the agenda for today? Nope. All right. Do we have any conflict of interest disclosures for today? I will start as always. My wife is on the library board. One of the appropriations is for library funds in the budget.
The same as always, my wife is the town clerk, which has a budget.
Any other disclosures for today? All right. Next item is public comments. Do we have any public comments? Do we have public? Oh, we got Mary Ann on the phone. I don't see any indication. Okay. Next up, we have approving the minutes from the January 6th and January 9th meetings. I will just say I have not reviewed those. So I don't know if anybody else has had a chance to. So I'd suggest maybe if we can postpone that until the next meeting. Next up is highway updates. How's it going, Rick?
Going. Everything's going pretty good. A lot of sand, it's all. We have enough to get through. A lot of chunks this year. Cold. Had a few issues with it, little stuff with the trucks. I'm on foot. Too bad. These people good. He put up the signs over by this garage. I'm not sure exactly where are those supposed to go on each side of Mary's driveway? Is that where it?
Yeah,
That's where we put them.
I saw him out there today.
Well, yeah, that's.
I think that's right.
Did you have to put posts in, or did you mount on something that was there?
No, we put posts in.
You did.
Just used a small post on the big break. I didn't know if we could get that in the ground this time of year. But
She'll let you know.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. Sure.
I think everything's going pretty good right now.
Ruben's working out well. It's good to hear. And the other guy, is that no longer an option?
Actually, if we're going to cover that, we should probably do it in executive session.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that was something. I didn't know.
It would be. Is there anything we need to talk about in executive session with regards to employees? No.
I mean, it's sometime we're gonna have to decide over to prove it.
Yeah. I know we were trying to tee up, 5 or 6, I think, highway topics to sort of do probably a prolonged meeting at some point in the not too distant future. I don't know if we could do that literally in the next meeting or if we'd want one more meeting to get everything together. We want to try that in the first one in February or the second one in February. Do you guys have a preference?
Be good to brainstorm those ideas out loud, for sure. I'm sure that I know a lot of them, but there's probably some that's
Okay. Well, let's, unless there's anything else.
For an entire executive session discussion.
There'd be parts of it, yeah, there'd be kind of the employee side of it for executive session, but then I think some of the other stuff for open session would just be
Planning.
revisiting the longer term capital planning, deciding if there's anything we need to get moving on immediately with regards to like another truck or any other pieces of equipment that would be more urgent, to get it in the works. I think there are a few topics like that that we'll want to kind of stack up and hit you with everything all at once if we can.
I got some information on the body, and Mike Murray from Viking called and said that now it's not getting built till like sometime in September instead of May or June.
Wait, then we call it a month later, huh?
So he said, the reason why he called, he's like, well, if you guys wanna do something different, it's like, I don't know, I didn't talk to the guy, didn't go, but, see if they could do it quicker, you know. Last I knew they were out at least 10 months, so. And I didn't ask him, I haven't asked him that, because the price is higher anyway, so. But I guess I could call him and see, if the prices come down a little, I doubt it, but.
What does that mean in terms of turnaround for having something ready to use by next winter?
Well, I'm hoping, I mean, unless it gets pushed off again. You know, they've been having a lot of trouble getting the, plow gear, I mean, like the bodies and stuff. They got a lot of trucks that are built, to wait for a body. So. I probably should call Tenco just to see, maybe they would guarantee something quicker, I don't know. But I don't know what the price difference would be either, so.
Yeah, I hate the idea of us hitting,
Viking put us off originally when they bid it, it was supposed to have been done last fall. They put us off up near June, and now we're getting put off in September. So. Hoping they're gonna say, get closer, you're gonna be put off till December, you know. But I probably should call Penco just to see, maybe they get caught up on stuff, maybe they're better shape, I don't know.
okay. Yeah, I hate the idea of us getting to, you know, whatever, August, and then finding out it's not gonna be September, it's gonna be February.
Yeah, me neither.
Is that bad form to switch companies?
No, actually, the salesman said he wouldn't blame us if we did, because, you know, so, but I don't know if they can do any quicker, and I don't know if the prices has changed much, so there's gonna be more money, so. But I can find out the next meeting.
Yeah, all the more reason, I think, to push ahead faster on whatever the next piece of equipment is as well.
Yeah.
See if we can get some of these things working in parallel, because we don't want to be just dragging it on and on and on, and then you're left with a shovel.
Yeah, I mean, the trucks are not a problem anymore, it's just getting the plow here. Trucks have 3-4 months.
Is the dump body considered part of the plow gear? Yeah, okay.
I think we probably ought to do order my truck, because it's gonna take a while.
So the date for that tentative meeting would be February 3rd, or the, looking at after that? 17th. 3rd? Is there any reason? It's just a discussion, I mean, you just gotta come up with the right discussion points, so. Seems like that would have a problem with the 3rd.
Yeah, I mean, the big idea is just, from my perspective, but I'll let other board members chime in too. I just want to make sure that we've sort of captured what all of the challenges are, and that we're kind of looking down the road a little bit and making sure we see stuff coming, so we can kind of plan it out a bit more. And then for the urgent stuff, getting a plan of attack in place sooner rather than later, so we're not sitting here crossing our fingers that we'll get, you know, a truck in time. I know I don't know enough about the job or the equipment or anything else to have an opinion myself on it by default. So that's where I kind of need you and the liaisons to kind of step in and help guide the discussion on what's critical, what the risk is, what the consequence is if something fails.
Last year, kind of borrowed time with some one of the,
Yeah.
one of the trucks that. I'll just.
Yeah. So I just,
Not gonna give you.
They don't seem to appreciate, do they?
so that's good. I just want to make sure we get all the stuff kind of out on the table. 'Cause
I'll brainstorm with you if there's any other topics, with Curtis, and, that way I can write it down and just have it for us in a couple of weeks. I've got some points started, so.
All right. Anything else for tonight, Rick?
I was talking to Hunter from McCullough, and he said that they're not planning on doing any crushing until early April, so that plan of maybe getting up there in March to do something. It's not gonna happen, so we're gonna probably end up hauling in the northeast. For one season, for sure.
Is that anything we could do now?
They're not open.
Oh, they're not even open either.
No.
When did they open?
They don't normally open until first of March. I mean, unless somebody needs a bunch of material they bring, I can call Eric and see if there's anybody looking to get over earlier, but yeah. I mean,
Cause you're starting with almost zero? You're starting with very little right now?
yeah, we don't have much, I mean, I don't even know how much that's froze, so. Yeah.
That's in anticipation of mud season and how deep the mud gets.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah.
That's for the Greg and I to deal with.
Hopefully, we only have one.
Yeah,
Like, sure.
yeah, one would be a nice number.
Yeah, it's got 13.
Yeah, if I can, I mean, I'll call Eric and if I can. There's some days that they might be in there, in the month, February or something, maybe we can almost start home. Stop it.
Just don't get down to paper.
Dave, I know this is probably. You know, I was just thinking that. Be nice to be able to put it down at the rec field for temporary storage, but I don't know if that will apply.
Why would that
Just so
be?
we don't have to haul it all the way back to the garage and haul it all the way back up our building.
Why would it be an issue? Jeff?
Pass. But.
I think we can make that decision here at this table. We need to.
I mean, it'd be only something that would be like a, a month or so. So you can be there all summer.
You just put it in the center of the soccer field, right?
Yeah.
Nobody would mind.
No,
Plenty of room now.
yeah,
There's nothing in this time, it's not, February, March, there's nothing that's gonna be out there.
I don't see any problem with it, but
Just cranks up a few people.
Yeah, there was, I don't recall exactly what the complaint was or if it was even about.
It's bad, will be put there because it's like,
Yeah.
to the flood zone.
trending.
Okay.
But it's something that's just gonna be temporary. There's no way it's gonna flood. It'll pile there.
Some things we just don't say out loud, Rick. It's just not gonna flood.
Well, we've had certain floods and I've never seen water up there, so.
So if we just outlaw flooding, we're good.
And mud season while we're at it.
Problem solved, yeah.
If it's up that high there, the village is really definitely.
Yeah, sorry, Chuck. So,
Okay.
But this idea,
Where is Northeast located?
it's up in, Graniteville, where Rock Mead is.
So there's an additional hauling fee.
Oh, yeah, that's all there.
Yeah. How big? It's not that big of a,
Well, it's about an hour and 10 minutes. Trip. Depends if it's going, or that's going to go to East Area.
right.
If we're hauling here, it's probably about an hour and 10 minutes, under 10 minutes, probably. Well, I guess we see.
and what about sand? Do you think there's gonna be I mean, we're hopeful, but Did you get enough in to feel comfortable before the season ended?
I thought we had enough. I mean, the budget says we had enough.
The budget says.
Seems like,
Going quick.
yeah, it wasn't, I haven't calculated how much we've used so far, but it's going fast. But when you get all these little dab snowstorms, you know, yeah, big snowstorm, you just plow them and then you go see them once.
Right.
Dab storms every day. Like today, I didn't know. Not to snow a lot, enough to touch them up.
And then it's freezing underneath that dust of snow. It's like
Some places,
4 inches of ice
yeah,
over
some
the
places
school
there are.
yesterday.
What,
Some places are down to dirt, and some places are 18.
what happens what happens when you get down to a week's worth of sand left? Where do you go get more?
I would wait till a week.
Good, good.
I don't know. I know McCullough's was open because the town of Waterbury got some. But I just found out today from Hunter, if they were open. I didn't know it. They didn't call us and say they were open. They were getting short, so which I don't know if they can put up all their sand anyway. They may do that halfway through the winter, because some places they don't have, and they may have a shed, so they put away so much in. I don't know. But I think we'll be all right. Wait at least a few more weeks anyways to see what happens.
Do you,
You get February, you start cutting back on a lot of places, like the sun's a lot hotter, so there's a lot of places that, you know, if the sun comes out, so you just kind of dust them a little bit. I don't know right now.
do you do your quantities based on truckloads? How many?
Well, when I used to figure, it's hard to figure because you don't know exactly how much. I mean, I'm not there to see exactly how much they come back with, but I know roughly what it takes. You know, if it's freezing, you lose a little bit, so I guess, but most of the time we would be 90 and 100 yard. See. Yeah,
That's one trip across all the roads, you mean?
all the roads.
Yeah.
The salt's been hard to get. Down to about a wheelbarrow load one day, and thank God the load came.
Who's gonna fight over that wheelbarrow?
So other than the lack of gravel, sand, salt, equipment problems, everything's good.
Or maybe do.
All right, well, unless there's anything else, Rick, I think we don't have anything else that involves Rick for tonight, right? We can let him go.
Yep.
All right, thank you, Rick.
Thanks, Rick.
All right, next up is town administrator update.
I can wait until we have a longer.
Right, because you haven't, note in here about needing to set the date for the informational
Yeah.
meeting.
Yeah, that was the only thing that, and the agenda for the informational meeting.
Okay, so we'll come back to that as part of the discussion on that. All right, budget management is the next item. So I was looking at this thinking, maybe a few things I want to make sure we've got in order on the budget. First one is confirming, I know you confirmed this through email, Tierney, but I want to confirm on all the petitioned amounts that's been double checked. So no chance that we've like disselected some numbers or added it up wrong or whatever.
Yeah, I did a final run through today, made sure all the petitions matched up, and then adjusted it because it hadn't updated. So the final amount is $17,040 for social service appropriation. So many P's in that one.
Do we need to take a closer look at that list? I think it's probably a good idea just to double check that the amounts requested are also what makes it into the final warning. Just because I know that anytime we're moving numbers around, there's a chance that something gets dropped or a zero gets accidentally deleted or something like that. So maybe we'll go through that just point by point when we get to the warning. Does anybody have any other questions on the appropriations themselves, or want to take a closer look at that? All right, if that's the case, then what I was hoping we could do is go through the rest of the flagged items in the budget, make sure that we take care of that, and then look at where we are overall. And then the final thing will be confirming any of the balances and how much we're going to raise by taxes. That will funnel into the warning as well, to say we're going to ask for X amount of dollars, and then Y amount of that is from the taxes. If everybody's on board with that plan, I will share my screen in a minute here. Thank you, Rick. All right, just give me a minute to join the Teams meeting.
You're aware of double coverage from our head criticism, right?
What?
You think that he would use the most?
We just got told.
I did. That is a true statement. I can't really argue that.
I was gonna say, am I wrong?
Are you cold?
Not at all.
You get
No.
used to it.
My head rarely gets cold.
Okay, so you can see that okay? Can you see me a little bit more? So based on the latest info from Gail, I did update it based on the appropriations amount that you just mentioned, Tierney, but let me double check that.
Did you get an appropriations request recently for Selectboard?
Yeah, they got this one.
So petition requests is 17040. So based on everything that is in here, I already put in a amount that would balance this out so that our general fund total would be zero. And that amount to be raised by taxes would be this one, basically 550, almost 500 on top of that. Interestingly, our total expenses are down. Well, actually, let me cover the highway first, and then we'll come back to that. So I did the same thing on the highway. I put in a few additional updates from Gail, pretty minor overall, but then put in an amount to balance, which is, sorry, just looking for the number here. This one, the 780. And so that balances all of the expenses out so that our highway fund total revenue balances the expenses. And then for water and sewer, I think there might have been one or two tweaks on that, or is that on the phone? I can't remember.
I didn't really.
I think there was only one change to like some of the overtime or something like that, like one small change there. The not enough to really impact the bottom line for this, which is we're still going to be expect to be pulling about 81,000 out of the sinking funds to cover the shortfall between what the expenses are for water and sewer and what the fees are currently covering.
And what's the amount in the sinking fund right now? Do you know?
Yep. That is water.
Wow, very buddy.
Did I go there? Oh, thanks. Sometimes I don't alphabet well. Oh, sorry, I'm looking at
The
the,
balance of,
yeah, going the wrong way. So we've currently got this much total in there. Can you read that? Maybe a little bit more. So we've currently got about 258 in there right now.
okay.
So this year we know we're gonna lose, I forget what that number was, 80,000 or something like that. It's gonna drop by the next year. It's gonna drop another 50,000 maybe.
Did the
40.
increases in water and sewer put a dent?
Well,
Yeah.
if they pay their bills, we might help.
Oh,
But from a budgeting standpoint, absolutely,
Okay.
it starts to move the needle in the right direction. But it is a start. It is not, because we know it's not all the way there. Yeah.
Are we, is there a contribution for 2026 going into those funds as well?
There is, I think that might be one of the things that's still flagged is
Okay.
do we really want to include that?
Yeah, right, so 81, we need 81, we're putting in 50.
I think we're putting in 25.
Whatever it is, right?
25, yeah.
Do the difference or something?
Yeah, so so sinking fund up, not that much, 2,500.
2,500, oh, good.
And then I think we had the same thing here, 5,000 going into this sinking fund
So there's $7,500 going in,
And 80
to a fund
coming
that we're
out.
pulling out of. So
and is the 81, is 80, does the $81,000 deficit include the $7,500, or is it really,
it does. So, yeah, so if you take that away,
it would be
the
worse?
number,
It's a little worse, okay.
oh, that's not, wait, when you say include, it's included as an expense that we're taking that money out and putting it into the sinking fund. So this number would actually go down if we.
Right, okay, okay,
So instead of losing 81,000, we would lose 70, whatever, I forget what it was, a little bit, yeah.
okay.
So it seems a little bit silly to me to just move the money into a pocket that we're taking money right back out of.
right.
Mhm.
That seems like a thing we could not do. Ultimately, it doesn't really make that much of a difference because it's still the same dollars. It's just pushing them around less. So
I think we should leave the line item in there though, even if we zero it.
leave it in to show that we're not putting anything in that's zeroed out. I'd be fine with that.
You mean those right there would go to 0?
So this,
Oh, that's electric.
so this would go to 0. The $5,000 one up above would go to 0. But Gail's saying leave it in so people don't forget that there's a sinking fund and eventually we want to start making that non-zero again, but it's going to be a couple years. Is everybody good with that?
Yep.
I'll make that change right now.
Still feel compelled and obligated to try to cut something more out of this so that the numbers are less, so that the amount raised by taxes is looking at compared it to last year and just. Have to listen to the
Don't
governor
forget to
say,
change the source.
Yeah, I'm gonna unflag that as well, and this is from
I was
the,
almost gonna say something.
thank you,
It's like-
20th, right?
There must be joy from somewhere.
What's being budgeted this year though is less than 2025 budget, right?
Yeah,
But everything has gone up,
well, we lost
so it's,
we had all those grants, right? It was the surplus, whatever the ARPA
Yeah.
stuff is now gone, so it's going up because we have less free money coming in, basically.
Yeah, unfortunately, that kept the taxes
Artificial.
down, yeah, but it was artificially done, so that last year's would have been slightly lower than what this year will be anyway, but just looks different.
and expenses for highway and trash removal will have gone up as well, so that will
Yes.
contribute to any deficit we'll see for this year, and I think that's easy to explain.
it is,
Yeah,
I
so
think we can,
now-
I feel like we can explain it, I still just feel like
We should get it,
what else can we cut, or what else can we lower, you know, I just. The way that you hear about the world right now with all these costs, everything just goes up.
Yeah.
So to limit that as much as we absolutely feel comfortable with, just feels like a duty.
So I think there are two, oh, sorry, go ahead, Gail.
No, but I mean, you can cut as much as you want, but it's not, it is what it is. Bottom line comes to operating expenses and stuff. I mean, something breaks down, you gotta buy it. It's not,
Right. Yeah, there's certainly things that
You
we
can make it
cannot
look good, but
move on.
not-
Well,
So I think there are two kind of angles to this, right? Like if you had a leaky boat, you want to both patch the boat to prevent more water from getting in and bail when it's already there. Some of these things are kind of like that, where I think if we can see stuff coming, we can prevent more water, prevent from being underwater even more on this. But we do still have things where we know, like, again, these rates weren't touched in almost a decade. Like, hey, it sucks, but we got to right size that now. We've got to do that.
Yeah, I feel
I'm
good about
hoping we can get ahead of that or not ahead of, but at least caught up to it, maybe start getting ahead of it with stuff like the highway equipment and the rest of the stuff we need to do for water and all the other departments.
Like, I feel good and confident about what we've done for coming up with our values and such, just still feel compelled to look ahead.
Yeah, but where do you,
I really don't know.
because, I think that we trimmed off what we were gonna contribute to the highway fund substantially
Mhm.
from what we originally thought, because of these big expenses that are going to be coming up. We can't really cut that anymore without going into, to debt as a community because of the interest rates. If we had to take a bigger loan, the idea is to have lower down payments and lower interest rates. So I don't know. I can't,
Right.
I can't imagine where we could cut more.
I think the sentiment is accurate though, right? I mean, any of this, one of our primary duties is make sure that we are diligent in what we're doing and that it makes sense for the taxpayers. A big part of that is obviously trying to balance what does it take to run things with what's the value that the townspeople get back out of it.
Do we have an idea of those surplus and ARPA money? How much was that as part of 2025's budget?
100,000.
100?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so that is, if I switch real quick and just take a glance at the tax history on this, and again, I'll zoom in a little bit more here. So even though I didn't put the 2025 actuals in here, but from a budgeting standpoint, the 2025 budget was actually more than what we're looking at for the operating budget. So we've actually, it's not that far off. So maybe we'd say leveled off more than anything. But the amount that's going to have to come from property taxes is significantly more because we don't have those other funds chipping in for it this year. With the highway budget, there's a little bit of an increase, and likewise, that's pretty much close to directly reflected in the amount left to get from the property taxes, but that's a relatively minor amount.
What does that come out to as a percentage in property taxes?
Percentage in property taxes. So this is only a ballpark, because again, I'm not sure I've got all the right info on parcels and grand list value. But overall, it means that, our government rates are gonna be in this ballpark, which is a 30% increase. The highway is only a 1% increase. But 30% increase on a 30% increase on the general town government rates while our budget leveled off is a bit of a hit. Right? That's a lot. Now, that being said, in the grand scheme of where all your tax money goes, and this is the 2025 one, but
Reminder.
again, yeah, just a reminder. And this is not meant to let us off the hook in any way whatsoever, but I think as a taxpayer, the thing that I look at is the big yellow wedge more than the others. But again, we should still be diligent about trying to make sure that our little blue wedges are as small as they can be.
It might, they do an informational meeting as well, public meeting before the town meeting, right? Every year, the school presents.
They used
I think they have a separate Is that correct, Tierney?
Yeah, I believe
So
so.
maybe it'll soften the, maybe we could time our meeting so that we can,
Used to be on the same day, but I feel like they're not anymore, right?
No, last year they were a different day, but I can't, I
Maybe the
think it
day
was a couple
before,
days
like
after.
before or something, or after, you think?
is that a weird time?
Should definitely let them go first.
So I'd suggest maybe we go through and just check the other flagged items as well and make sure there's nothing else that we need to change before we set that or continue the debate on those other numbers.
So green is, tell me the color, green and
So-
red.
So in this case, green is revenue, so that's
Okay.
the money coming in. Red is the expenses, that's all the money going out.
Okay,
I did not try to get tricky and do colors of changes in revenue and changes in, you know,
What is
the light fuchsia.
orange.
Yeah, with an eggshell background. It's,
Semi.
no, exactly. So Gail, one of the things that you had tweaked in your last one was making the delinquent property taxes 0.
Yeah,
I just wanted to confirm, I know this is an area where you got a bunch last year, but the delinquent taxes you're collecting are kind of offset by people not paying their property taxes in the first place. So, everybody comfortable with that being 0?
That's how it's
Everybody
gonna
follow?
be here too, right?
Sorry, I didn't hear either one of you. So Gail, go first, yeah.
Chad recommended that it should be zero.
And that's how we did it last year.
And
Yes, that's how we do it every
That's
year.
right.
so, and does that just says that we're never gonna get delinquent tax money as far as the budget.
From a
concerned.
planning standpoint, and whatever delinquent taxes we collect, the delinquent tax collector gets a subset of that. In the grand scheme of things, that's still money that doesn't go to the town. So when we say we're gonna collect $500,000 in tax money, but we don't get all of it, and then later we get part of it back.
Yep.
The delinquent tax collector gets some of that,
The
but
fee,
there's also interest, there's also, yeah.
right? They only get the fee part, don't they?
I forget exactly how that works.
What's that?
When the town collects the delinquent taxes, do you get a portion of the
I
fee?
get 8%. I also have to pay for all my supplies out of it, so.
And then the
The
1%,
goes to the town plus taxes.
okay, so the town still gets the principal of whatever was owed, they just get it at a later date.
Right.
Okay, so the town actually doesn't lose money per se on it.
And
Unless they don't pay it all.
does the revenue in the current property taxes field assume some level of non-payment, or is 550,000 if everyone paid all their property taxes?
That's if everybody paid their property.
Okay, so it would never make sense to put it in delinquent, because otherwise you'd be getting extra money?
Well, the
Yeah.
delinquent would be the 2025 taxes that nobody paid.
Oh, that's what it's, okay, that's
But
true.
then there's
Yeah.
2026 taxes that we don't collect.
That just sounds like some kind of can chicken auction.
So is everybody comfortable keeping this at 0 and I'll unflag it?
My property taxes at 0, yes.
You
Yeah,
don't have to
there might
pay
be a
this.
different flag. It's-
Might make a new color for that one.
All right, next flagged item, we'll come back to the balances at the end. Education tax refund, this was another one that went to 0, I forget what it was before, but
Yeah,
Is-
Chad said that's figured into. I don't remember what he said, but he's the one that told him to change it.
Look, anything,
it
that-
was only a couple $100 anyway, I think, so everybody,
why would we carry anything for education, right?
I don't know the answer to that.
Education tax refund, is that what you said it was called?
Yeah,
It's down there.
is that related to us? Is that related to stuff where we've been the ones collecting, or is that a state balancing act thing?
Which one is it?
The education tax refund, 11-6
Yeah, no, that's, like when we pay, if we pay the whole amount, we can get a good chunk back. Yeah. Sometimes I hold back some, so that we don't have to, hold so much back. Some years we get 25,000 back. If I underpay it, then we can get the interest on that money, and, then they only send us back like 8,000. So, but this year I paid the full amount.
So it's mostly about how the money like the timing of when the money gets pushed around. Is that like a,
Yeah, once they do their budget in July, so once they get their budget and everything figured out, they figure that they overcharged everybody. Give us money back.
oh, so it doesn't really have anything to do with us per se. It's just a matter of them saying,
It
oh,
might be our, I'm not exactly sure how to check it, but I think it might have something to do with our ground list value too.
It just goes back to apply towards our taxes. We don't actually get
Yeah,
a check for it, yeah. I think each year we've had,
yeah, no, we do get a check. I billed with the overage.
so here's the big one. So this is where we had 100,000 last year and not so much this year. So just confirming,
Yeah,
There.
he said that we really don't have any surplus.
Now, did we use it up? Is that why we don't have it? Like, that's a good thing, right? That we used it up and we spent it on something?
Yeah,
well, we used it up last year, right? So that's part of what makes last year look not as bad and this
Yeah.
year look worse.
we still have
But it wasn't like-
100,000 in delinquent tax,
How much?
over 100,000.
I'm just curious if we have to explain that away at our, at the meeting. There was $100,000 last year that we used for something. That we offset something.
Well, but yeah, it went into the general, fund, so it got,
General offset,
yes, exactly. So it wasn't earmarked for anything specific
Okay.
like
Wasn't
the
like we
waste,
bought a
waste
tax
fees,
truck or something. Just the general offset,
just a general offset of all the other general expenses,
general speaking.
Exactly. Whoops, I forgot to unflag that.
Yeah, so basically it had the revenue, so it balanced out a little bit better, but we weren't actually getting anything.
I think the word Curtis used was artificial.
Yeah.
An artificial relief that wasn't sustained.
All right, TA technology, I saw that there was an updated number in here. I just wanted to confirm that that's
Yeah, that's
accurate.
because her computer is set up and then the annual fees.
Thank you for checking that out.
Yeah, so back in front. Okay. Oops. This one was flagged on the zoning admin salary. I don't know if it was a leftover flag.
Oh, we double check what?
Sorry, why is this lagging? Please tell me there's not gonna be a Microsoft update.
Probably because the
I
internet is
did that in
lost.
the middle of the meeting today. That's cool.
I know, I just happened to be at work.
I just got that today too.
I not get that.
What is going on?
I always
You
just
go
click
with
faster. and
I
hit control.
apologize, it's not the screen
They could
share,
update
but
it
yeah,
tomorrow.
yeah, if I just click and type randomly, then, yeah, all it was a double check on the numbers, so.
So that 11.6 is based on out. I feel like that we would budget the same salary there, no matter if we have it filled or not. Right? In this last year, our paid to date would be higher because. when we
Our
had-
year to date was different here because we were paying through Two Rivers.
Right.
The
That
contract.
didn't show up in that line.
No,
Oh.
so
No, that's
Oh,
separate,
okay.
a separate one.
That's what I
yeah,
was
there's a
wondering.
2,000 something dollar, for Two Rivers somewhere down.
Yeah, somewhere down below that. will also be difficult to scroll.
Yeah, there's a 13.4 right there on the screen.
Oh, yeah, okay. And that was for our partial year to have Kyle as the. There were two rivers.
Yeah.
But it's cheaper to have him for a full.
So is this still a number we need to double check?
$24, $21. Is that-
I don't have that handy. I think it's,
He bills us when he has contracted work, right? He does, it's not a weekly
Right.
amount that he
Was it 10 hours a week?
definitely charges the town.
Okay.
Yeah.
estimated, so 22.49 estimated 10 hours a week.
11,648, that's pretty much what.
He also got hired late in the
Okay.
year.
I don't know why that's flagged.
That number appears at first.
It-
That's the word.
Yeah, it may just be flagged because we never unflagged it.
I feel like that would have been the same budget we would have carried last year though, wouldn't it have been?
No, because we were at Two Rivers at the beginning of last year.
And that was, we thought that was sustainable.
Yeah, because we had the contract for Two Rivers. And then it was when he left that all,
Okay. But we only had him on contract in Two Rivers because our previous VA resigned, right? So if we look back on a year or two, we should find the salary somewhere for the ZA. That wasn't through Two Rivers. All I'm saying is we have to
It's not the same.
compare the 11,600 to.
It's still the same hourly rate. I think they were budgeting a smaller amount of hours per week
Oh,
based on what the actual numbers were previously.
okay.
I think theirs was like
And
an
then
average of like.
petition requests, we already,
Oh.
well, actually, let's double check that one together here. I'm gonna save this.
That is a mix of these
It's already posted, let me pull it up.
I'll see you, Lloyd.
All right, so these are the appropriations that are requested for this year. So I did go in and check these. The only ones I had added comments on were ones where it wasn't clear in the stated thing. I guess these are ones that were maybe just mentioned in the petition. But so Jen or Tierney, you've double checked
Yeah,
that that's what the
the
petition
ones
says?
are also in the appropriation folder now.
Okay. All right, the total does indeed add up to 17,040.
Are there any new ones from our bus John? Is that what you're highlighting right there?
Yeah.
Is everything else is the same as the year before?
No.
No.
No, we had quite a few that were significantly more. Tri-Valley Transit went up. I believe the senior center went up. Some of them went up just a little bit, like $100. I think Tri-Valley Transit was 1,600 last
The
year.
senior center,
If you go to the 3 dots, there should be a 2024.
Sorry, where are you telling me?
Another sheet.
Oh, yeah.
the senior center also does Meals on Wheels, and that money got cut this year. So they will need more to cover the costs of feeding people.
Well,
Yeah, so quite a few of them went up.
so last year was
15,500, 15,600.
So this in general still feels weird to me. I know that it's legal and to some extent even encouraged for the town to support things like this. It still feels weird to me to have the town take taxpayer money to give to charities.
I'm surprised at the Clara Martin Center is a nonprofit. They have
I know,
their
just-
own funding source. I don't know why they would be asking individual communities for money.
Well, most of these, I mean, like if you look at, Orange County Restorative Justice, $350, like there's no way that pays for them to do anything,
Right.
right? But it's there.
And Orange County Parent Child Center, I think is an important, there's early education programs are underfunded throughout the state. And a lot of families really rely on that program. But yeah, some of them, I would just wonder how they're,
That's last year's, just a caveat.
yeah.
That's what-
The Claire Martin Center, like, again, it surprises me. The senior center doesn't, because I know that it covers the Meals on Wheels as well. The Historic Society is something that really contributes to the community, I think.
In our covers.
So this is the thing is I can
How do
be,
you decide?
I can be personally convinced to donate to many, like the bar to convince me personally
Uh-huh,
that it's a good thing and worthy of my donation is a lower bar than the bar to convince me to take money through taxes to redistribute it to a
right,
charity. For the things that are directly town business, I acknowledge that's
Sure.
a necessary evil,
sure,
but, I don't know, again, I don't know where I'm going with it.
Yeah.
I'm
I agree with you.
rambling a bit, but I'm
Yeah,
like,
I
this
understand
feels
it too.
uncomfortable.
I understand it too. I never understood why we funded the arts
we-
stuff. They also have their own funding source.
What if
To the
something
state.
came in one year and it was $100,000 in appropriation requests? Cause people just started going, wow.
That's what seems weird to me
Well,
about it, is it's like kind of a way to slip in money that is tough to parse out during town meeting, because you have to have someone stand up and say, I don't think that Clara Martin Center should get $2,040 and I want it stricken. Like, it's not voted on. None of these are voted on. They're
Well-
voted on as part of a giant thing, but they're not.
Right, so in theory, somebody could say, no, I don't want to approve that amount, and specifically, I don't want to approve it because I think you should take whatever, 3,500 away from the senior center,
Right. It just feels like
and
a,
then we're doing math in real time. in
Right.
Town hall, I mean, in town
What is
meeting.
good beginnings? What is,
exactly.
what
We're
is
giving them
that?
money though.
I don't even know what it is. And
It's like the
yeah.
human fund.
What is a hundred?
Restorative justice is also, it's a state
What?
funded.
What is a hundred? Something green up cover.
So I think there are a couple of things here, and again, I'm thinking this through out loud, so I don't have
Yeah.
I don't have an endpoint in mind, which I don't like, but, obviously there's a long history of doing this. I don't
It's not
know
a
if
good
prior
reason either.
boards have stumbled on this or not. It's pretty easy to say, well, we'll keep doing it because it's what we've
I
always
hate that
done.
reason though.
But so do I, but I also hate changing stuff without full clarity into what the repercussions of changing it are.
Marianne has her hand raised.
Oh, yeah, do you need to unmute her or can she unmute?
She can unmute herself.
Yeah, go ahead, Marianne.
Am I, can you hear me now? Am I unmuted?
We can hear you.
Okay, so actually, anyone in the financial meeting on the floor vote can just say, it's inappropriate to do this and let's not vote on it. I did that once, but everybody voted on it. But, that would be, anyone in the public could stand up and do that. It's like, they don't want to though, and when this was put on, when the social service thing was put on, was at a different time when there was more money in general in the big economy floating around. It wasn't the inflation, times weren't as tough. I don't know when the social service thing was really put on, probably in the 70s or the 80s. I'm not sure. But you can just say, well, we as a town, we're not going to do this. I mean, there's no reason that you can't. Just say we don't have enough money. Our median income in the town of Chelsea, household income, is just low and we want to keep people in their houses and we just want to, it's just not feasible that the town of Chelsea can support things like this as much as they'd like to. And you can do that, and you could, any person can, and say it in the town meeting, and we could all vote on it there. But when the voting on the financial thing, it's not, the whole town doesn't vote on it. You know, that's the Australian ballot. It's only the amount of people that come to the floor vote that would, you know, be voting on this.
Yep.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, which has also always seemed like a strange thing to me. So separate topic, but the idea that like if you don't work for an employer who grants you the day off, you don't get a voice in the budget. Feels equally weird to me. But,
well, that's another traditional thing. I mean, you can take the day off if you want to, if you're so serious about it, but it doesn't work out that I mean, most people can't do that. Anyway, I just wanted to say you could do that, and then okay, that's all I'm saying. In the floor vote, people could say, yeah, let's just not do this. Let's just cut this amount off the budget and make an amendment to the budget if you put it in, and then in the floor vote it just goes through, and then the total budget would be minus of that if someone wanted to do that.
So maybe the thing that we can do is highlight that as a more clear option for people. You know, highlight that in the informational meeting. Highlight that in our preamble for it. Because again, I don't want to kill something without warning.
No, and the only reason that, and I know that you obviously can do that during town meeting. I hate that that's the recourse, because then you're basically asking a bunch of people to make a snap decision about something that they may not, you know, unless they've researched every single one of these charitable type event groups and decided ahead of time. Now they're just depending on the testimony of a single person who takes issue to now make a snap decision to support or not support something they know nothing about.
Yeah.
Be the bad guy.
Okay.
Yeah, and then someone has to be the jerk that says, I don't want to do that, and like, yeah, we're definitely in a just shake the boat a lot type of thing right with this, but
Yeah, and we recognize that could happen, we just also recognize that it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
very rarely, yeah.
Right,
I'm
rarely.
not sure if all of the financials would have to go to the vote, or if you could say you just wanted to move.
I think you can have
social
one
service
item or,
appropriations over to the Australian ballot.
Yeah, I am super fuzzy on this. I asked that last year when we were going through this, and I was pretty sure the answer was somebody could move to specifically, like, you know, basically adjust that article and say, no, we're going to change it from whatever 17,000 to 15,000.
Yeah.
By striking, you know, line item X off the list. Again, it makes it, if that does indeed happen, that's going to make for a wild town meeting, because we're going to be doing math on the fly, which always goes well.
What I was saying is I didn't know if you could just specifically move, like vote to move that to the Australian.
we would have to warn of.
Yeah, you have to vote for it.
Yeah.
To do all appropriations?
Yeah, but I don't know if you can split appropriations from general budget stuff, or if it's all or nothing financial.
It just feels, it feels like, do you have a ballot? Would that be, there's a ballot that has 15 bubbles I have to fill in? Do you approve this appropriation, this appropriation, this appropriation for like 15 things? And like, what if I think that the Historical Society should get money, but they should only get $1,000, and like,
I think that's why they.
it's so
go
messy.
for the
This is so messy, because it just feels like I can get, what is it, 20 people to sign my petition to give money to some made-up charity, as long as it's defined as a social service.
I realize this is a bit of a tangent, and I know we've got a lot to get through, so we'll try to pull it back quickly, but quite honestly, what I would love for this to be is something a bit more like the Roberts Poor Fund, where there's money available. It comes from private donors. If we wanted to say there's a town allocation to it, whatever we could, but we could say, hey, this is the pool of money that's in here this year, and it's at the select board's discretion how that money gets distributed to these different charities. I would prefer that strongly to taking tax money to do it.
Marion
But oh, sorry, Marion, is your hand up again or still? Sorry.
It's up again. It's up again.
Oh.
Okay, I think it's wrong to have, these are donations, so it's supposed to be voluntary. people are supposed to donate it like, at will, at their individual will to these things. It's just like an administrative nicety to put it on the, property tax, you know, but you don't have to do that. What you could do as a select board, and this would be more fair, put the whole thing on the Australian ballot that the town of Chelsea will not do any more appropriations on in the budget. That way, anyone that wants to donate, that has enough money and that has the will to donate, will just they'll have to send their little letters around, their little fundraising letter, and that is authentic donation, rather than taking money from everyone and putting it to all these things. That's not really a donation. That's you're taking it. And the people, the individuals in their houses don't have a choice. So it would put the choice back on the individual to do that, to just eliminate this off of the budget and make it's not gonna not, those people will still have money because the people in town that want to donate will just do it voluntarily. That's what happens anyway. Okay,
Yeah,
enough said.
Yep. No, that's echoes my point about the bar. The bar to convince me to give is way less than the bar to convince me to take. But I know we're also up against a deadline here on something we've been doing for 50 years.
Put this on the list for 2026.
I think we should. Yeah, I think especially if we're revisiting appropriations in general, which I think we need to. I think this is a good thing for us to look into. From an administrative standpoint, again, if there's some way that it could be set up like a Robert's Poor Fund thing where, sure, if somebody wants to entrust the select board to decide what the best charities are, that's fine. But that money didn't come from taxes. It came from people donating and saying, oh, I'll donate whatever. I'll donate my $1,000 to the town of Chelsea decides where it goes fund. And, do it that way as opposed to like we take money from every property owner
And
to do this.
from what I understand, the select board has the right to refuse or adjust any appropriations requests that come in just by default.
That was
So
my,
we could look at this list right now and say,
Yeah, you say, I don't think this one fits the bill. I don't think we should do any of them.
if that was that was the question I had, is that they're requesting it, but does that mean we have to agree to it? Or can we say, it's more, we think it's more appropriate? And the other thing, I guess I want to know, like your question, Greg, is what does that $350 do for the restorative justice? Is there anything when they apply that describes where the money goes and how it's used?
Yeah.
The report that goes into it? Okay.
yeah,
Okay, I just, there
It
are a
was
few.
warned pretty specifically last year.
they are, and in the back of the report are all of the like half-page summaries that say what they do.
So it's called out pretty well in here, it's just not isolated for its own.
But
Yes, we do have to include them just because they meet the requirements for being put on the warning. So they have enough signatures, they're
Yeah.
something valid that the voters have jurisdiction over.
Yeah.
And they have like their listed amounts of how much they're asking for each.
Yeah.
thing.
So again, I'm a little hesitant to think that we can think it through well enough tonight to do this, but I do think we can make this a point of conversation at the informational meeting, make it a point to emphasize that it's a possibility during the introduction for the meeting itself. And then I think this goes hand in hand with some of the other I just blanked on the word. What? Are you just throwing out words? The rest of the policy, right? If this kind of goes hand in hand with the rest of how we handle the whole process. Because I do want to make sure that we are on strong legal footing as well as strong moral footing. And ultimately doing what's in the best interest for the town in a way that, like I said, feels less icky.
I understand the icky feeling, but I think that between the water, wastewater, and solid waste, we're at something like 6 times the deficit.
Oh, yeah.
And we're talking about $22 a parcel in town to have food delivered to people who can't leave their house, and to have a bus service and a crisis hotline. And I would love a world where these things are funded by private donation, but I think that we get quite a lot more than $2,000 worth of service to the town out of the bus, out of most of these things, I would guess. Some of them I have some questions about, but I think that we have a process in place to handle the ones that there are questions about. And I feel compelled to speak against privatizing Meals on Wheels.
I would agree.
That feels unkind to our neighbors, even if it's compelled giving.
Never can raise again.
Were you done with your thought?
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. Go ahead, Marion.
Oh my God. Now I kind of forgot what I was going to say. Okay. The reason so I just want you to know that there's going to be an article on the petition that I put forth to amend the social service appropriation petition, as you know. So that will be voted on Australian ballot on March 3rd. But the way that it's the policy is where it says in part of the policy, legally, it says, well, the town is not obligated, like it's at will I think it doesn't say at will, but it says like, just because it's voted on and because you went through this process, it's the town can not pay you. And the reason I believe for that is in case the town doesn't get the taxes, in case, let's just say everyone doesn't pay their taxes or there's something that happens, then it's not legally guaranteed that these people get that money. Do you know what I'm saying? These organizations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there
okay.
is, I do remember even in the current policy there, I don't have it in front of me and I forget the wording, but yeah, there's something about
At the end.
funds, yeah, if available.
Right.
And that determination of what's available is up to the select board. Again, I think it would be in bad form to let the town vote on stuff and then for no reason say, nah, we're not gonna do that. But yeah, appreciate that if for some reason suddenly nobody can pay their taxes or we've got a huge unexpected new truck, that we need to do or something, we can back out of this if we need to. So again, interested in hearing from the other board members. My thinking at this point is, again, kind of go ahead historically with what we've done, but in the informational meeting and in the town meeting itself, offer a little more clarity that it is possible to vote against these things. And then after town meeting, we'll revisit other aspects of policy and other ways of doing this and make sure that we've got, again, strong footing for how we move forward.
Our 2026 list is filled up quick.
It is, but that's part of the importance of being able to look ahead and see it, right? Is so we can prioritize it. If we don't capture the stuff in the first place, we can't organize and prioritize it. So, yeah. Yeah, I certainly don't want to wait till next January to bring it up again. So, all right. With that in mind, then, so are we good? Did I already update this? Can't remember.
I think that was the one that you couldn't click on or something.
It was the one where my mouse was going wacky.
So right there.
All right, so for now, we're good with that number. Oh, I forgot to change that.
Oh, yeah.
Where were you, Chuck? You let me do that without updating.
I'm distracting.
district control piece still works.
It's like in the clouds. 713.
All right. So if we refresh, I think there might only be, oh, I should have kept scrolling to the highway stuff. I think there might only be 2 flagged items left, which is the balancing act part of it. Yeah. So the only items we had flagged were to balance out the expenses with the revenues. So at this point, for highway, that balances out. And for, whoops, did I just go by it? And for general fund, that balances out. So if you're all okay with it, I'll keep those amounts as the amount to be collected by property taxes. That work for everybody?
Here's so.
I agree with your sentiment, Paul.
Collected by bake sale.
Have to start baking now.
It's a lot of cookies.
I'll buy some of them.
I would do.
He's so proud of me, Chuck. I only forgot one of these.
I only had to say it once. It's been going well.
All right, I'll refresh one last time and that should clear the flags unless I screwed something up.
You could just say, could you instead of refresh, might be better.
Could reprogram the buttons.
Quick.
I did that. I'll tell you a story about
Oh, boy.
hacking into some.
Nice.
Go on.
Played Bill Gates for a day.
Yeah. All right, so are there any other budget items that we want to talk about or numbers that we want to look at? Not hearing anybody jump in.
If we say no, and we move to like preliminarily approved.
So I think that's it, is I believe we need a motion to put this in as the proposed budget for next year and include within the report.
Can we look at the, transfer station money?
Yep.
Because the numbers didn't sound like what we've been talking about.
Solid waste.
So one of the things I'll change is we're inconsistent in our labeling. Sometimes it's transfer station, sometimes it's solid waste. And I can never remember which is which, but was there something in particular you're looking for? We got 10,000 in the bank. I don't think, we have no liabilities.
Did we get a number from Myers or, cause it's Myers, not Casella, about increases for 2026? Did you receive anything from them?
No, I don't usually tell them.
Yeah, just do it.
Mine's-
I think it was last year that they did it halfway through the year and we hadn't budgeted for it.
Okay. That's one of my worries, is that
This is gonna go up even.
Chasing a moving
it's gonna be,
target.
yeah, it's gonna be more.
Well,
than
it's
one.
supposed to be a tit for tat, so. Meaning it's supposed to be what people throw away, they pay for, it's supposed to balance itself,
Yes,
but.
in theory,
Yeah, so
it hasn't been in place yet.
Yeah.
yeah.
So we already know, again, I know we've got things stacking up already for for 2026 for us to tackle. We know this is already one of them. Maybe one of the things that would be good to look at there, when we did the water and wastewater balancing act,
Yeah,
we did project, I forget what the percent was, maybe 4% or 5% increases
okay.
year over year as we go into the future. If we do that for this as well, I don't know if we have enough of a historical trend to guess at what the rate increases might be. But we could certainly look ahead and say, hey, again, whatever, 4%, 5%, 8%, whatever it is, this is what we expect to see
We
for
can't look at the
increases.
actuals.
We can look at the actuals, what we're missing from a pure dollars view this tells us what we spent, but it doesn't tell us the tons of trash, the tons of recycling, it doesn't give us that. And I think if we're gonna do a more thorough analysis on this, I think that's part of what we would want to look at to have a better understanding of, like, are people's habits changing in terms of what they're throwing away? Is it just that the price per ton is changing? Like, what's behind this? Because otherwise we're
Just shooting.
like, yeah. I mean, which the dollar numbers are an important aspect of it, and it's better than not having them. But if we're gonna try to do this, a little bit more thoughtfully, I think we should look at the waste itself.
Did we end up, the in versus the out in this budget itself?
No, we pulled back on it, so we said, all right, let's, again, it's been going kind of in the wrong direction. We'll try to not quite have the, but try to pull back on it a little bit for next year. Again, with the understanding, we can adjust this when we get into the more detailed analysis on it.
Right. Yeah.
I'm curious about why,
Makes that personal.
yeah, just the trends.
TBD.
There's no,
If you're looking for rhyme or reason,
Yeah, I'm looking for-
it's
Don't have the
hard to
data we
see.
need.
Yeah,
yeah, okay. I won't belabor that.
I wonder if Myers could give us, Chelsea, we have shipped this many tons.
We have a retract report.
We do have that.
Yeah, we must.
We certainly
We have-
can use that for something.
yeah. So I don't remember who the liaisons are, but this page does.
Unfortunately, I do.
Paul and Curtis.
All Jason.
So, good thing this isn't like highway where it's Curtis and Paul. I'd be, if there were numbers available, I'd be happy to take a first stab at trying to crunch that into something usable. Probably not within the next couple of weeks, but,
126.
towards the end of this quarter or beginning of next quarter, though, I could probably take a stab at a quick little model to look at.
We got 2026 stickers in, right?
Yeah,
Maybe I'll wait till December to buy mine, like they did this year.
How many people have bought them now?
I know of one.
Or.
Everybody here, are we the only ones that have bought them?
You get it in your pocket. We can get some tonight.
yeah.
Gotta get one.
Okay. Any other comments on any aspects of the budget?
I mean, I'm sure I could come up with more questions. We can keep looking through, but it's kind of, you adjusted it based on our last conversation and.
Based on the last conversation, based on some updated, actual 2025 actuals that Gail had, there were some adjustments, like you had lowered the town, phone and internet.
Yeah, cause I figured, each department a little bit better, so.
Yeah.
Or something.
But again, that was like, $100 here, $100 there.
And the other thing we possibly could bring down a little bit, I tried to get a number out of the county for tax, but they never got back to me. But, I mean, we could lower it at least 2,000. Not much, but I think I'd feel safe doing that.
Sorry, which one is that?
That's down all the general expenses.
Sorry, the general or the?
Yeah, general.
Well, the general one same sometime, right?
Exactly. I think I just went.
I would call him and see if he can help us out.
That should be in that section.
Shaq is buddy too.
That's right.
What Shaq said.
Get all
This one?
Yeah.
So you're thinking that instead of 32,000, that could be 30,000?
Yeah.
Take it.
I don't object to that. Anybody? I mean, but the thing, because ultimately it's gonna be whatever it is, right?
Yeah, I mean, last year we budgeted 35, we came in at 24. I'm sure it's gonna be more than 24, but I don't think it's gonna be more than 30.
Is everybody comfortable making that 30 and I'll adjust the Libergans?
So comfortable.
Does anybody feel like they know enough to tell Gail a different number?
No.
Maybe I should phrase it that way. What did I just?
No, you fixed it.
Yeah.
Those track malls, you know, they always
And
mess something
then,
up.
did I still have some?
And I stayed with it, and I'm glad you did.
Was this the highway one? No.
There's a note there that says, why is this actual so high? Is that reconciled?
That's from a prior year.
Oh,
So,
okay.
yeah, I'm not going to that. So hold on, what did we just say? That was 2008, so this would be 48.
Mhm.
It's already set for today, yeah.
Come on.
What was your magic word?
Skadoosh.
Skadoosh.
Just imagining every weekend watching Kung Fu Panda. It's just like over and over and over again.
Is that what that's from?
So,
Was it 4 movies, 5 movies?
yeah,
That was,
some tiny little impact, but still an impact.
that's right, the right direction.
No one's found that $120,000 line item.
No, funny what happens when you lose 100,000 in surplus from year to year. Well, not lose, but you don't have the repeat of.
What about those 500,000 tulips we plant downtown every year? Maybe we could trim that down.
Tulips?
Yeah, 500,000 tulips every spring. We got that. That's a line item in here, isn't it?
I wouldn't fit downtown at all. And they get planted in the fall.
Yeah, what if we just planted one way? We'd save
That's
half the money right there.
That's just the unfortunate reality with this budget. Is like we don't have. I was joking because we don't have things like that. There's not like low hanging fruit. Like
No.
we'd be cutting essential things to try to skinny this up.
Or cutting.
So those are,
Well, yeah, some exceptions.
those are our 3 big buckets.
So this is our general, basically our general fund, the highway fund. And then this is just totaling up the parts of that would come from property taxes. So I did not look this up. I don't know exactly what the appropriate wording would be. Gail, maybe you can help us from past years on this.
For the motion?
For a motion, I think we can just say, accept the items as covered in the meeting tonight.
No, it'll have to be
It'll have to be
set
dollar
out.
amounts.
It's gonna be the same thing that we put in our.
Oh, I figured okay.
Yeah, so it's, if this is what the budget that you're approving, we need to have the total fund expenditures. How much will be raised for taxes and how much is non-tax revenue.
And you remind, is that broken out at all between operating budget and highway budget?
I believe they're totaled, aren't they?
It's all total.
Because one of the questions I had on the warning is in the warning, I noticed it actually says from the general fund.
I think that's because that's what they've been using for the warning for years. It should be the total fund expenditures. I looked up the model warnings. And there says, shall the voters authorize total fund expenditures of blah, 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 of which blah, blah, blah shall be raised by taxes and blah, blah, blah by non-tax revenue.
Yep. There's the warning last year. That's
So this is right. So this is the draft of the warning for this year. So
So if you want to approve the budget, we just need those 3 numbers.
we got the total general fund expenditures, how much raised by taxes, and then non-tax revenue.
We've got numbers already.
okay, so we can ignore my comment there because you just talked about it. All right, so the total number here, which I didn't put in anywhere.
Now, this is total general fund expenditures.
It'll be,
Right, that's what I was just saying is actually
Is that
wrong,
the,
I think. Right, because it's not just the general fund, it's the general fund and the highway.
oh,
fund.
this is not quite
I
accurate.
think, yeah, I think
yeah,
that
now
was.
you formally said
Total.
general.
Oh, did you already update this?
Yeah.
No, Because we tweaked it again.
Oh, yeah, this is last year's.
Right, so if that's the amount of which this much raised by taxes. Oh.
Word knows better than you,
Oh,
Greg.
Microsoft. Mind reader. And then it'd just be the difference between this and that. All right, so those would be our
That's our motion right there.
numbers.
1776, baby.
Oh my gosh, I love Hamilton too.
Oops. Good thing, sorry. Yes. So the motion would be to approve submitting budget for 2026 with those words.
Submitting to the town for vote. So essentially.
That's the part where I get,
We're presenting this to the town for approval.
yeah, let's make sure we get the wording precise on this. So, right, because it's not officially approved until the town votes on it. Right, but we can set it as a preliminarily proposed budget for approval at the town with those numbers.
Yeah, the way this reads, it says to see if voters shall approve.
Right.
So we send it on to the voters.
Our motion is to present it to the voters for approval.
Yeah, you can, it's motion is.
So if we move to include an article and then pick up at 2 and read that sentence, does that cover us?
I believe so.
Right.
And that says by.
Are we ready?
Honestly, any way you word it is.
As long as you have the numbers right.
I know,
Yeah, as long as you have the numbers right and you have a first and a second motion.
And it's good. Yeah.
I know it's the next item anyway, but it is worth noting because it ties into the conversation we were having. The language for the social service appropriations does say that we recommend that this is what the town does, which really does reinforce the concept that we could technically adjust these things as recommended by the appointed select board.
That's just me. The rest of you were elected.
That's true, actually. But that certainly implies that adjustments need to be made. Anyway,
So we can, yeah, maybe we can come back
yeah,
to
that's
that.
the later topic.
Yeah, we'll come back to that 2 minutes from now. But
You don't want another run through of the budget?
If I just understood that, are we
You're just
about to
being snarky
revisit
now.
the appropriations in 2 minutes?
no, the wording there.
Okay.
I think we can, I don't know, is it automatically assumed that because we're presenting it, that we're recommending it?
Hope so.
We voted for it. That's a fair
That is
assumption.
true, that is true, that is true. Okay.
Then I'll move that we include an article to see if the voters shall approve the total fund expenditures of $1,776,417, of which $1,328,833 shall be raised by taxes and $447,800 or $584 by non-tax revenue.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? That passes.
Will that information, go in the meeting minutes that will get published with those numbers? So people will see it this week.
Yeah, they can see it ahead of time.
They'll see that this week.
Can we be sure and get it in the Herald?
We'll be putting the warning in the Herald already.
Okay. But the meeting minutes, can they be in the Herald? Should they be in the Herald? Because it's one of the main sources of information for a lot of people from the community, not Front Porch Forum, Facebook. paper I think people rely on for the information. We do that.
Yeah,
I thought that was what Kate McLean was going to do as our Herald correspondent.
I've not that I know of. I mean,
Okay.
we
I kind of
have them posted
I
online.
had sort of assumed so as well.
Yeah,
That part of
that's
the,
what they've done.
part of
in
the,
past.
yeah, part of the duties were cover whatever's going on in town,
Right.
including
then-
specifically any highlights from the select board or other committees and.
I can talk to her and see if that's something that she can.
If you pass the meeting minutes on to her, that she would be the one who would make sure it got into the Herald. It's been mentioned to me a few times that people aren't seeing the information from the select board meetings in the local newspaper. So, and it's not a
This is the-
criticism.
I've seen it in there at times and seen it not in there at times, and I kind of assumed it was. I have to admit, I do not always read the Herald cover to cover.
I think
kind of
probably since
assume-
we don't have like
I'll give you that
dramatic
credit.
stuff in the agendas. I feel like a lot of the Herald covers, like controversial things or,
Right.
stuff like that.
Maybe we should start by during the meeting.
Yeah,
I
then
mean,
it would be
yeah,
controversial.
the Chelsea first annual cage fight at town meeting would be pretty exciting.
This is an important one, though. I think you're saying, get this one in there, so it's like, this is the first draft, we can see the numbers.
I think so. And then,
I think-
I mean, this is the big number.
I think
Yeah.
this time, at this time, it gives the people in the community the opportunity to digest the information. And then perhaps you can show up for select board meetings between now and the town meeting. You don't want them to.
Push.
So the other thing I was, sorry, I'll let you continue.
No, I just, I don't want to add another thing. I just getting it out there sooner rather than the day of or a couple of days.
If we're good putting the budget thing aside, I'm actually gonna stop sharing, maybe Tierney, if you can share, I think that's the next thing. Is the warning the next thing or is the report the next thing?
The warning.
So maybe let's take a quick look at that. But what I was gonna do is if you start to share, I'll go back and forth and make sure that the appropriations actually match what the items in the warning say. Are you following it all? That's a little bit of a scattered way to say it. I just, I'm not very good at doing two things at once, sometimes one. But I was gonna double check all the numbers on this to make sure that the warning has the same thing we just looked at in the appropriations list.
Already double checked, all of the offices are all good here. So this and then our zoning bylaws. I know you made a comment about approved, so, I did not have a lot of references for other towns that do their zoning bylaws by Australian ballot. So this is what we essentially came up, for, so on the 9th, I know we made a motion to adopt the bylaws. However, adoption doesn't happen until the voters vote on it, so.
Is like presented the right word? Cause we've really just presented the bylaws for adoption by the voters.
I mean, you
As presented
basically
for-
approved a draft of the bylaws on that date, so that's why I went with approved. And we can make that clear in the informational meeting, that was like preemptively approved, essentially.
That's advanced by a vote.
Advance, that's a good word.
So yeah, if you wanna change it, we can change it.
Yeah, we approved it. That's what we did, right?
I believe that.
Yeah, I mean, we might consider always a preliminary approval, an approval to move it to the town to officially adopt.
Approved for, yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Presentation or something, approved for presentation to the town.
I like that. Cause that is what it is. It's proof for presenting to the town.
Mary Ann, you had something?
Yeah. Are you talking about the warning and you've got the approval of the zoning bylaws on the warning? Because shouldn't that be on the Australian ballot?
Correct.
It is.
So that is on the warning, the first one. These are the articles that are voted on by Australian ballot. So that would be the elected officials and then the zoning bylaws.
And then the rest of it is.
So
from
where's the petition that I put forth to amend the social service appropriation petition policy?
So that's coming as part of the next piece of discussion, Marianne.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's lengthy. It's a lengthy text. Okay.
Are you okay with that?
So what were we saying? We're saying as through full presentation. Maybe it's too complicated. Maybe approved is fine as is. Any thoughts from others there?
I don't think we need to belabor the
Yeah, I agree.
description.
Okay.
And then the next part that comes is the business from the floor. So that'll start at 10 a.m. We have the social service appropriations. They should all be correct, but incorrect.
Yeah, I just double checked all those against the list that we just went through. So that's all accurate. Okay.
One goes through, we just did, shall they place the tax bills in the hands of the treasurer for collection? And then to see if the voter shall establish the due date of November 2nd. Last year was the first, but we decided, the second would be best because it's a Monday. The first is on a Sunday this year. So people have plenty of time on the very last day to get in for that. It's a standard 8% for penalty and then a 1% interest.
So my question on the interest charge is that a compound interest or is that simple interest?
No, it's simple, 'cause it's on the principal.
It's only on the principal, okay. Should we explicitly say that, or is it implied by not having the word compound?
Yeah. I mean, it's up to you, it doesn't matter to me.
I guess I would be more concerned if it was compound, if we didn't say that.
Yeah.
The fact that it's simple kind of errs on the side of the person paying it.
I agree.
I do wonder though, is that question, like, are we all gonna remember that a year from now when it comes up again, if it's not in the wording? Does anybody object to the idea of saying, monthly simple interest charge of 1%? Everybody good, so can you, or I can actually add that in the docs then.
Monthly simple
Simple interest charge, yeah.
for those that'll look it up.
Well, it's occurred to me a couple of times and I forgot to ask last year and I was looking at it again this year, so.
Okay.
I'm sure it will occur to me again next January.
Are those,
So now, no.
are those percentages in statute somewhere about what we're
What
penalty?
we're allowed.
Yeah.
That's the maximum or, well,
8%'s big number.
Mhm.
okay. So if everybody's good with this, I think that brings us to the question of the appropriations policy. So this one's a bit confusing. I'm definitely gonna need help thinking this through from everybody else. So I know we got there's the petition that Mary Ann submitted that has the updated wording for her suggestions on the policy. I know we had already slated that as an after this cycle thing to go in and revise the policy anyway. I see lots of ways. I think the overall intent I think is good, and I don't want to question that, which is hey, let's make sure that our just like we were talking about a minute ago, let's make sure that our policy is as clear as possible, as fair as possible, restricts the intent of what is meant to happen to the realm of what's reasonable. But I'm worried about it from a choreography standpoint, for lack of a better term. So on the one hand, if it's like policies are something that we would have the ability to rework at any point in time. Getting advice from the town that says they're in support of this rewording or whatever is great. I love getting town input. I don't have any objection to that. I'm a bit worried that if the town votes against it, that puts it on our shoulders to not change something, even if we want to. I'm a bit worried that if the town approves it and then we make additional tweaks to it, that makes it weird that we didn't follow through with exactly the thing that the town voted on. I know in theory, just like we could not include the appropriation requests, I know we could not include this despite it being petitioned. That makes it weird though, because a bunch of townspeople said they want this on the ballot. So I see lots of ways this goes wrong, even though our intent is good. I think our desire to update it is relatively aligned. I see lots of ways that this gets off the rails quickly. So I kind of didn't want input from others to hear out like what you're thinking in terms of the best way to do this that actually helps us accomplish the goal of, I'll say, right sizing the policy, revisiting the policy, but does it in a way that doesn't make half the town feel like we went against their wishes somehow. So who's got a great idea? Do I put somebody on the spot?
Yeah.
No.
Please.
Sorry, I was gonna call on you, Carrie. You've always got the personal balance that you bring.
Well, I think, if I'm not sure if folks will fully grasp the importance of changing the language. And I think that, how do we express the intent or the need to change the language without it being open for a discussion about what that language will be? Does that make sense?
I think so. Let me just echo that back, make sure I think what you're saying is, right, if we put that precise language in and the town votes no, that kind of implies that we're not gonna change the language at all. Right? If we put that in and the town says yes, but then we've got additions we wanna make or other tweaks we wanna make,
Right.
we're still going against what the town voted
That's right.
for. So it handcuffs it for future. Well, the thing is, it doesn't handcuff it, right? Because there's nothing that says we can't do it. It just makes it so that suddenly there's an appearance that we're not doing the will of the vote.
Right. I guess I'm repeating what you were articulating.
I thought it was something smart.
Yeah. Really good. It's a really good idea, Greg. I think that I'm not clear if it makes sense to put it before the voters. I'm not sure if it does.
Ultimately, the policy is not something that the town voters have been given authority to in state statute.
And that was the other question I had based on the information that we.
Yeah, so this
We've
would
had-
be a non-binding advisory petition that the select board has discretion to include or not include, just because the voters don't have authority over it in the first place.
So is non-binding enough to make people feel like it's not binding? Like is saying it's advisory or non-binding, is that sufficient, or is that just setting setting stuff up for people to still be angry later.
So advised but non-binding, right?
Yeah, so basically, so if we kind of, if we play out the scenarios on this, right? So if we put it in and then people vote no, we could still take that as the advice from the town is, no, we don't like this precise wording, but it doesn't mean that we can't still revisit it and make changes. If the town votes yes, we could still take it as advice that the town wants something in this spirit, but we could still make changes. But there's still a perception that if it's not word for word, or if it's not a word for word wholesale change, or it's not, no, don't change it at all, there's a risk that that's still, I don't know.
Chuck, what do you
So
think?
the threshold issue that I have before we get to any of that is that it's the addition to the policy creates a bunch of obligations for the select board to do investigation. And the actual document that is being petitioned changed is the policy that says how you petition to get a social service appropriation, not an overarching policy regarding how it's the petition, at least the last form of it I saw, which is not the fully submitted version, is proposes to change the like overarching policy on what we are allowed to spend money on, not the process of how you petition to get on the ballot. So the actual document says that you have to get a certain number of people in town to sign your petition, and you turn in a statement and a number of dollars, and assuming that you actually have 58 taxpayers or whatever the magic number is this year, you're in. And so the trouble that I have before we get to the qualms that we raised before about that I still think that it's facially discriminatory and unnecessarily narrows what statute allows us to do, is that I don't think it's the right. I think that if we want to change what we will appropriate money for, that's a different policy than the policy that says how you petition. And so I don't think it's valuable to the end user of this document for there to be instructions to us as the select board, whoever that group of people is in 2028, at the top of a random page that we're handing out so that people know what rules they need to follow to get appropriation stuff. I don't totally understand whether we actually have the authority to make people open their books to prove the legitimacy of their charitable organization as a select board. There's some privacy concerns there that I have not investigated, and I'm not totally comfortable advancing without knowing the answer to the question.
Was there more, you'll have to refresh my memory on it, was there more to it than just saying, oh, it's a certain, X type subset, something? Is this
Marianne may be able to speak to that question, but my understanding was that she was hoping that there would be verification by the select board that the ultimate entity not only was a 501c3, but was in compliance. And that's
Beyond.
That's regulatory compliance work that I'm not equipped to do. The IRS hasn't fined you is my personal test. I think we very quickly get into a cost to do those sorts of investigations that makes the $17,000 that we had volunteered with a minute ago feel small. And I don't have any problem at all revisiting how we appropriate money, but I don't. In a situation where the voters aren't actually empowered to make this change, and we're talking about collective action for non-binding advice, we're not
I think it creates hazards to move it forward in that way for public perception to do something that we've already agreed to do.
So you're right, so you're concerned that it potentially sets us up to get advice from the town that they want to proceed with something that we can't actually proceed with because of other barriers and guardrails on what we can do. Okay. Curtis, do you have any thoughts on it?
Not really. Chuck's made some compelling arguments about why it may not be the right thing to change if we want to enact change. But I also definitely see this feels like lose, lose, lose. If we do nothing, we lose. If they vote it down and we do something, we lose. If they vote yes and we do something, we lose.
Well, I wonder kind of in the spirit of what we had talked about previously, because again, I'm not hearing anybody object to, in fact, I've heard agreement before that we need to revisit the policy and we want to do that.
Right.
I'm wondering, in the same spirit of when we were talking about the appropriations a minute ago, where we say, yeah, we're not in a position to screw with the history on it for this go around, but what we can do is include it in the informational meeting and talk a bit more about what some proposed changes were and what the intent would be. We can make people aware that this is going to be something coming up in select board meetings soon to get the revised policy, collect additional public input on it. So we could highlight it still, but do it in a way that doesn't lock in wording that we might not be able to really take under advice. And again, I'm just totally thinking out loud, so anybody's welcome to jump in with.
So it's the forum. It may not be the appropriate forum for making that.
Right, I think that the discussion is good. I won't say the intent's good or bad, but like our overall intent to revise is there. The spirit of it, I think, is good. But yeah, it might not be the right form to do it because we can't really follow through. We can't follow through on whatever the town would vote for. We can't, if the town says, no, we don't want it, we're not planning to follow through with not changing anything. And if the town says, yes, we do want it, to Chuck's point, maybe there's some concerns about, well, what parts of it can we actually do? It may be better served to take as proposed wording into a series of meetings, specifically inviting the public to join us and be part of the discussion about it. And maybe that discussion even includes the rest of the appropriations topic as well. I don't know. Because I still, again, I don't know if we want to try to divide and conquer it or do that together, but it feels related. I know we're missing Paul for a minute. I kind of want to make sure he's back at the table
Yeah.
before we go too far.
And to Tierney's point, it's not something that, it doesn't sound like it's something that can be voted on.
It can be voted on, and I apologize, I forget the proposed vote. It can
Yeah.
be voted on as like an advisory thing only, right? Like so it's not committal, like just because the town votes yes doesn't mean we take it,
Right.
or just because they vote no doesn't mean we don't.
Right.
But it sets it up in that sticky situation of like, well, regardless of whether they say yes or they say no, we're likely to make changes, and that becomes awkward.
Yeah.
Which is kind of, I think, Curtis's lose.
There are three loses.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the Secretary of State actually has taken the stance of advising towns not to put advisory things on the ballot for that case. Like, it confuses people no matter what you do. It's, I guess it was.
Yeah, it does not meet the first requirement of a required article, which is being under the voters' purview.
Right,
So-
or if we have follow-up select board meetings, we specifically make this a one topic. We can even proactively invite people like we did with the water and sewer
Yeah.
billing. Then it becomes more of a series of things with additional public input. It's clear the whole way through that this is iterative, and that we make sure we end up in a good spot.
Just,
Oh, sure.
Thoughts?
Yeah.
You're at next.
Do we have to wait until March to do it?
What's that?
Is there any reason to wait until March to do it?
Do you, what?
If we don't put it on the petition, we can start the process.
Oh, we could start, yeah, we could start the process.
What we said before is
Next
we're in the
meeting.
middle of the budget and this is.
Yeah, this,
is
yeah,
a little bit-
exactly.
Now that we
The
have
budget and the town report has been.
Our next meeting is
so-
highway and then
Yeah, we could do it as the second meeting in February. I could jump back into it, yeah. Yeah, I'd be in favor of it while the topic is hot, because again, I don't wanna hit next January and then be like,
Yeah.
oh, shoot, we were gonna do it.
well, it really needs to be ready by. When do these start collecting signatures? November,
October, November.
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, I was thinking at least by July, we have an updated policy.
So I think you were out of the room when Curtis was talking, was that?
We've appointed Greg the king of town.
Yeah.
And we're all. So he's making.
We already got 3 votes, so you're. No, but the, again, we were kind of iterating around the idea of like, well, any way a town vote goes, right, and any option we've got potentially doesn't advance well because people just don't recognize the difference between an advisory item and a commitment to the thing that's there.
Mhm.
And so if you vote no, but we change it, then we went against the vote. If the vote is yes, but we change it, we went against the vote. So what I was suggesting, and just thinking out loud was, well, if we treat this as something where we say the intent is there, but we actually want more engagement. To Chuck's point, we could even do this starting at the end of February. Don't put it on the warning, but bring it explicitly to the select board meetings. Get town engagement over the series of a couple meetings like we've done with water and sewer rates and like we're doing with highway equipment and stuff like that. So that we do still get town engagement, we still get people's buy-in on it. We get the changes that we all want to move forward with, but we don't do it in a confusing, does my vote count, does my vote not count sort of way. Yeah, so that's the latest idea that's, sorry, what was that?
Yeah.
Oh, Marianne, go ahead.
So I think you have to put this on the Australian ballot because I got enough petitions and I want that language on there. I'm helping you guys because I put the exact language that you can just click in. I do not understand why there would be any opposition to it. And if it's voted no, you still can change you just don't have to do the letter of that exactly. But to the point that I forgot what his name is.
Curtis,
Chuck Peel.
Curtis.
No, Chuck Peel.
Yep.
Chuck, to the point he made where like it's not, you can't, somehow it's going to be hard to have the select board vet these people. It won't be hard at all. What I'm thinking is you just ask anybody that's a public charity, they have to be accountable to the public. So you have to be allowed to ask them for their last tax return. It's just like a little postcard tax return. It's not the whole thing. And you don't have to check the numbers or anything, but you should ask for the organizing document. And then if it just meets the definition, which most of them will, then you just check the definition. And I just thought it was something that the secretary can just do as attorney or the town administrator. As you get a petition in, you just make sure that it's before they take the petition out. So it's to prevent any fraud. So it seems very simple and straightforward to me. And I don't understand why you would not want to just use that language and put it exactly right in there.
because I have concerns that it violates the Fourth Amendment to the US Constitution and the right to be secure in your papers from government intrusion.
How
government.
so? I don't think so.
We are the government. We can't just demand without probable cause that people open their books for us.
You're talking about 501c3s who actually have to show when the public asks, they have to show that. They're accountable to the public. They just get those. It's not the whole books. It's not
We're
your whole
not the
books.
public. We're the government.
All
The
the more
public is
reason that
not-
you have to follow the rules and just make sure that
Yes,
you're
the Fourth
only
Amendment.
doing this, only allowing social service agencies that meet those definitions or they're actually provide a social service on the, you have to somehow have the definition and make sure it's met. You can do that without violating the Fourth Amendment, don't you think?
Not if you're saying that we need to collect these papers from these entities.
Okay, I didn't specifically say that because I'm leaving that up to you, how you're going to do that. You could just look at the definition and, ask the person. You just call on the, they can call on the phone and you could say, hey, what do you guys do? And then if it doesn't fit the definition, just say, well, sorry, you can't do it. You can't do that. We're not going to give you a petition.
I'm not saying we're not going to look at it.
Yeah, so I think if I can try to pull this back, ignoring all of the specifics of the wording, if I can kind of pull it back to what I see as I think the three choices that I see, but other members tell me if you see a fourth or fifth. So if one option is not include it, recognizing we're still going to take it on as a topic in an upcoming board meeting or series of board meetings and continue the discussion that way. The risk there is we're rejecting a signed petition, which is not something I love the idea of doing. Townspeople go through the trouble of getting a petition together, getting stuff together, getting signatures. I don't love the idea of discarding that. Option two would be we do include it in the warning as an advisory item, non-binding. 2A is the town votes against it, but we still want to bring this up and make changes, and then people who voted against it potentially, even though it was advisory, say, what the hell are you doing? I voted against this. Why are you guys making changes to it? 2B is people vote for it, and then we make changes to it, and people say, what the hell are you doing? I already voted for the wording I want. Why are you making other changes? Again, all to Curtis's point, like all three of those feel like every single one of those feels like a bad outcome to me. I guess the question is, what is the least confusing outcome that still sets us towards the least confusing, least bad outcome that still sets us towards the stated intended goal, which is to revisit the policy and make sure that we're clear on how the appropriations works for us.
Our policy updates, as this body, are we the governing body for policy updates?
We are. So an
If we put
advisory.
this forward on the warning, that means that we have to approve it to be on the ballot? Like, if that's the case, then we don't have to approve it to be on the ballot. If we choose to do something different.
Correct. So that's where I was saying, if there's, if option one of we choose not to include it, I think there's an extension to that, which is to say, but we still bring it up, and we bring it up as we had previously planned to right after we're done with the budget and the reporting and stuff. I think the highway equipment thing might be more urgent, so I'm in favor of doing that first meeting in February, but second meeting in February, this could be one of the highlighted topics starting then.
I mean, if we all agreed that we love this right now and we were comfortable with it, we reviewed everything, we still have to approve it to be on the ballot as the board, just like we presented the budget, we have to present this as a.
I don't think so. Like even if we all were 100% on it, no concerns, no nothing,
That's not.
it still feels like it'd be weird to put it on the ballot because the whole point about an advisory thing on the ballot in general is just setting you up for
It would be on the
trouble.
floor.
I think you have
They
to,
would be-
okay. Can I
Curtis.
just say something?
Sorry, Marion, Curtis was gonna jump in here.
Well, I just wanted to confirm, it would be Australian ballot or it would be floor vote?
And be formal,
Okay.
because
No,
Wait,
it wouldn't
Marion,
be
hold
floor
on, hold-
vote.
Marion, wait. Curtis is talking. Go ahead, Chris.
Well, that's just my question. So I would just like the answer to that to understand.
Yeah, so that would go under Article 8, which is the transact any other non-binding business to come before the voters, which is under floor vote. So Mary Ann, the main issue here, why we're not required to automatically take your petition is the fact that it does not relate to a subject matter over which the voters have been given specific authority for in statute.
Oh, are you sure about that? Because I think that if it's like the voters can do it and put whatever they want on there. It's like a grievance. It could be you can't stop the petition process from being put on the Australian ballot after I did the petition and wrote it up and got the signatures. I don't think you guys as a select board.
The select board has the discretion for things that the voters don't automatically have authority over. So the voters don't have authority over our policies. So that is the select board's authority to change any policy that we have, our drug policy, our employee policies, anything like that. That's up to their discretion to change. So that's why they're not obligated to immediately take your petition and warn it as an article.
And that, I know we saw one of the emails from VLCT did state that. In addition to them kind of outlining all of the, I think the ways that I just described, that it's, to Curtis's words, lose, lose, lose.
And what did you say about the Secretary of State with what the?
Well, I think it was the Secretary of State, their general advice is that non-binding advisory votes are very confusing and they advise against.
You can do, because I think Rutland had a thing that they voted on I think it was a political sort of thing that says, shall we say that we're against this thing? And people voted yes, but it's a non-binding thing that they didn't have any actual.
It was more processed than.
I see.
Yeah.
To make that happen.
It was more like they're making a statement
Things that
than
they didn't have
anything.
jurisdiction over. I thought there was another one about like disallowing underage people to get abortions or something. Like there have been weird iterations of these things that there's no jurisdiction over.
Okay, that's a good example, and to make it make sense in my head then, because the voters have no right to dictate should someone get an abortion, but they can put a petition to say that, but then there's obviously no legal obligation of anyone to do anything because they said that. And although this is way less controversial than that, it's the same spirit where the townspeople have no authority to demand a policy be changed statutorily, and therefore their vote doesn't actually affect anything. That's the crux of it.
But if you put it out there and don't respond to it,
Right, then there's the
it
perception.
creates a,
Right,
That's
anything you vote
lose.
on has a
Yeah.
perception that it's binding, whether
right.
it is or not, whether you indicate it is or not.
So it's a
And
much
that's the
bigger
potential.
discussion to put forward before the community, than because you vote on changing language in this.
Yeah.
And so I guess,
So sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying, so I get, my only concern looking at this, and again, like removing even this particular topic, like taking another step back, is by entertaining, putting a non-binding advisory vote to the floor, or what it's on Australian ballot, whatever it is, does it set a precedent that like now everyone's gonna just come out of the woodwork and start getting, we're gonna be obliged to be putting 50 things on
Yeah.
condemning racism or the
If you
war in
look at
Israel or whatever.
Old town report warnings, they do have things like that, like condemning the Vietnam War, like there's a bunch like that.
Yeah.
That have.
You do or you don't remember that one?
I remember that was a thing on a
Okay.
town report, and I didn't see that one.
Back when they condemned the Great War.
So I guess that's my biggest concern, is that it doesn't just open the floodgates for a million pointless things that the townspeople are now having to pick which side of the fence they're on. And this is certainly.
For advisory, which is something that regular select board meetings can get we can
Right.
gather advice.
And this is in the spirit of making it an update before next season's appropriation submissions.
Which is already the intent. Yeah.
Right. And will still be accomplished. And we plan to accomplish that is what I mean.
Yeah.
Throughout this next
One
year.
of the goals.
Right.
I can't tell if the hand is raised again or,
It's, I'm changing the mic on and off so that you guys won't hear me when I'm not saying anything. But, the language, it's important to me to have that language on there. That's the exact definition of what is in the statute that is allowable. The whole reason I need to do this is sadly, because in 2023, there was as you guys well know, there was a tax fraud, and it was using the social service appropriation petition for something that wasn't legitimate. So that's why it needs to be clarified. It's only clarifying the language, the legal language. It's not, and it's making sure that the select boards actually do what they're supposed to do by statute. It's not advisory. I don't mean it to be advisory.
If all it does is restate statute, then all of the bad outcomes that we're talking about, if it's advisory, don't matter because it doesn't change the status quo. If what it does is add exactly the same guardrails that we have, which I have seen the
You're
updated
right.
petition, then it
Because statute would already require
The
that.
difference
then
is that it
not voting on it
requires,
puts us in exactly the same position than if we adopt it by full vote with power of binding town policy.
okay,
Because
look,
all
but
it does is add the same exact wording.
it adds this, it makes the definition the exact statute, but it adds that the select board has to check it vet it before they give the petition out, so that they're not doing anything illegal. That's all.
I don't think we're saying we disagree with your language. I think we're saying we're not ready to put it on the ballot right now. And I think, well, that's what I'm feeling, like, we want to discuss it more and have more open meetings about it and put it on our list.
I
So the
think
way for
because
us to-
I got the petitions, you have to put it on the ballot.
we are not legally required to honor the voter-backed petition if it doesn't cover something that the voters have authority over. So that is,
Don't have authority.
don't have authority over. So that is social service appropriations, voting to repeal business property taxes, voting to adopt the town manager form of government, voting to disapprove a town ordinance. So those are things that the voters have authority over. This is not something that they do, and we are not legally required to put it into the warning, is what we're saying.
Yeah, and I did see that from VLCT in one of their emails on this as well. So I feel like we're kind of echoing the same things back and forth, which, again, I think the bad side of it is no matter what we do, there's a negative to it. But I think the good side of it is we do still have the intent to revisit this. We have the intent to gather additional public input on it and update the policy, potentially even looking at how we handle the broader question of gifts to charity as a higher level umbrella. But I'm willing to, I mean, we can take motions in either direction. But ultimately, I think that's the way we decide to put this in or not, is we have a motion to include it, or we have a motion to not include it. So does anyone want to put forward a motion in either direction?
I think I could motion that we would table this discussion until future meetings to review this policy. So that there's more of an open review, or allowed or offered. I don't know if that's the correct, motion for it or not, but.
So that would be to exclude it from the ballot
And
and
take it up on the ballot, take it up as our to-do list.
Yes, so I think it would be important, if that's what we're gonna, if that gets a second, if that's what we're gonna vote on, I think it's important to include explicitly that this would exclude it from the on the ballot.
I'll second.
So if we, well, let's reword it maybe, or amend it to make sure that that's clear. I don't know if you
Yeah.
can,
So to table this policy review and update until a future meeting, where it's more open, can have more of an open discussion and more public input, and to exclude it from the ballot for this town meeting.
And I was second.
okay, so we have a motion and a second. Do we have further discussion? Okay,
I'll just want,
Can I say something? You
Sorry,
should,
I'm-
we should talk, can I talk now?
I'm gonna ask that we actually keep this to the board at this point. I think we've covered the information. I think we've covered the different outcomes. We still have a report to get through tonight. I think we need to move ahead with board discussion and a vote. Curtis, you were saying something.
yeah, I was gonna say, I do agree with the spirit of the petition, which I think we all do, that we need to revisit this. I just think what I don't like about it is I don't like the idea of opening the doors of non-binding advisory petitions coming from everywhere, so that the Chuck wants a new dog petition comes to us next year and we have to put that on the freaking town meeting. I just don't like the idea of, it sounds like the Secretary of State is kind of alluding to the same thing, like, don't get tangled up in these confusing the voters with things that they don't have the right to comment on anyway, in that form. More so than taking issue with the concept of what needs to be done.
Any additional discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? That passes. The one thing I will say in addition to that is, again, if we're getting items into the Herald that mention things like budget, let's call this one out explicitly as well to make sure that we are getting some publicity out there, that we're going to talk about this policy and that we're going to bring it to the table and make those adjustments so that we can get the public input on something I think we're all in agreement needs to get updated. Okay. Do we have other aspects of the warning that we need to go through?
We skipped through a bunch of floor vote things, didn't we?
I thought we covered them.
I feel like that list of stuff is getting shorter and shorter every
That
year.
was the last one.
Oh, okay, never mind, never mind.
Yeah, yeah.
And then just all the signatures, I can get Jen to, print this out, and then we can sign
Okay.
by the end of the night.
I answered both.
So, and you changed the 25s to 26, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So with that, is there a motion to accept the town warning? We don't need to read that whole thing after.
No, we can do it as written, and then it'll be posted and put in the Herald.
Would you mind putting it back on the screen?
Yeah, sure.
While people,
Yeah, let's give everybody a minute of silent reading to make sure that's what we want.
two select board positions, that's yours and yours.
Chuck. Chuck and Carrie's.
Now, the whole public library piece, where we figured out how many are approved to be on the board and such,
This is correct.
that's all covers that. All right.
And nobody's up for planning commission?
Planning commission is appointed, not elected.
Is that the same for rec committee?
Yes, same thing with the DRB.
Oh, that was a piece of wording we wanted to change.
What?
The appointed select board. Is it supposed to be the elected select board or, an Article 4,
Article 4.
as recommended by the appointed select board? Right now Chuck is the only appointed select board member. I don't know how that wording is
Do
weird.
we even, can you just need a word there? Can just say select board, right?
Yeah.
We could be esteemed.
Daunted.
Less so today.
Yeah, it's hard to.
Sorry.
I kinda like it.
It's how my brain works.
Well,
It's
I don't know
scary
how I
in
feel
there.
like I'm in an old movie.
It's like It's a Wonderful Life or something. Is that kind of those are the balls?
I'm just gonna quadruple check that number.
Yeah. Where do you see that?
What are you looking for, Jen?
I'm looking for my name.
Oh, yeah, it's all the way to the
Should
bottom.
be, yeah, it should be Jennifer. I don't know that it matters, but
Ah,
Who ends?
yeah.
you're Paul, right?
Sorry, can you go back up to the budget thing? I just want to double check those numbers.
80s, your name.
Okay, yeah.
To see if
So-
voters will place.
You know how that says Article 7 talks about state education taxes, but our numbers are not about the education tax at all, right?
Correct. Our numbers are only, yeah, that's only town spending.
So I guess Article 7 is only establishing the due date.
Yeah.
The penalties, okay.
Shouldn't it be like their tax bills in Article 6, not its tax bills?
It's got two big boxes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right. To see if voters shall place their tax bills in the hands.
There are a lot of towns that separate those two bills,
Yeah.
particularly where the fiscal year and the education year don't.
I think it's Y''RE.
Sake, because it.
Just kidding, don't do that.
I was like, on what?
Yeah.
In Article 7, the end of the second line should probably have the word "and." Right, to see if the voters shall establish a penalty and establish a monthly simple interest charge.
You're good on November 2nd, you said I already checked that.
Not a fan of the Oxford comma.
Oh my gosh. What? Keep it. She just got rid of it.
Put that Oxford comma back in
I
there.
demand it.
Yeah.
I moved to use the Oxford comma.
We put two spaces after periods.
Yeah, I moved to do that too.
We have Sarah.
Otherwise, you're in the gallows for a day.
All right, so we just need, so today's date, if we're gonna put this in. right?
Stop. Only in the third offense.
That's the Westminster.
This day, that would work too. don't it?
I forgot my old army public humiliation slash death.
Okay,
We did it 5 days sooner than last year.
all right, and then because the other one's gotta be filled in by Jen, we still need the blank for her to
Yeah.
write it on the number.
Yeah, because she'll have to do it. We'll have to print this one out and get.
Okay,
what's-
did everybody get a chance to read that as we were scrolling? Does anybody have any other edits or adjustments? All right, if that's the case, is there a motion to accept that?
I'll make a motion to accept the 2026 town meeting warning.
A second.
We have a motion and a second. That was Chuck, right?
Yep.
Do we have any further discussion?
Carrie, your name's spelled right.
It's spelled right.
It's always spelled right.
It's always spelled right.
I have to write it so many times and I never get it now.
The first E in your last name gets me every time I write your name.
Carrot.
Yeah.
Oh.
I
It's French Canadian. It's very common around here.
okay.
Delaware, less so.
We had a motion and a second and plenty of discussion. Is there, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes.
That rabbit hole.
Thank you, everybody.
And when does that post? Soon as we print book. Right,
What?
that's on the warning.
When does the warning?
That's the first time people see the warning is in the book.
No, I'll do it the 22nd. That's the first day we can do the posted warning is the 22nd. Last day we can do it is the 1st of February.
22nd, as in 2 days from now?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I can post it.
This week.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll post the
Do
actual.
we need to sign it before we get out of here today?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I was gonna email it over to Jen, have her print it out for us.
So does,
She's not terribly busy. That's more.
how much of this is going in the Herald?
No.
And or could we decide?
So the whole warning.
Whole warning goes in the Herald. We're talking about putting our minutes in the Herald. Okay. You got the Herald, Herald blast coming. Plus our website and all the other easy spots.
We have to post it physically in town, we have to post it on our website. So I'll get all those up. Just has to be before the court. Hey, Jen.
Email it to me.
I just sent it on Teams for you. If you can just print it out and then we can get wet signatures from everyone. Be good to go.
All right, so that's essentially the last big piece for the town report as well. I think there were still a couple of, were we still waiting on any edits? I think there were a couple of things like the select board report, it looked like everybody was good with that. I think I still had one thing in there commenting about if there are other grants, whatever, if we can just delete that, obviously, before it goes.
I do have one question on one of the highway report. When you're ready.
No, jump in. I'm just trying to make sure we thought.
I
through this.
highlighted a couple of budget numbers in there that I put in, but Rick had different ones. I wanted to make sure we should cover the right ones.
So we should make sure that that matches what we just approved.
Yeah, basically what the report said, we had this much of a budget, and we spent this much as compared to that budget. We're talking about 2025. I just want to make sure those numbers are right.
Okay.
That's the biggest check.
Okay, I think there might still be a place in the select board report as well that it calls out like a page number to refer to
Okay.
for the whole highway report. So I think we've got maybe some odds and ends. Again, that's just administrative stuff
Yep.
to make
Yep.
sure that everything lines up. So I don't think we need to go through it
Okay.
here. But
I'll
it'd be
make sure
good to
those
know that, it'd be good to get a reminder though of the timeline that door. Because you're basically taking all the pieces we've got now and very quickly getting it off
Yeah.
to the printer, right?
As soon as everybody has their sign off, if we can do that tomorrow,
wants to go.
Thursday, to look through like final.
I think she'd like to.
Spelling,
Stuff like page number might
And
not
product
come through until
we won't know page number until they have.
they actually have approved.
So
because
we have to
we
go
don't-
back and get another
You know
group
what I'm
if
talking
we
about.
fill in the number.
So I wonder if it's better to just have a page number then.
I-
Okay, so we should probably tweak that a little bit then.
Yeah, because we can have them rearrange if they organize it in a way that we don't really love. We can ask him to change out the page numbers.
Okay,
and
okay.
make sure it flows well, but I'll need like a final walkthrough of everything.
Okay, now do you already have the sequence of stuff so that we know like, oh, this part goes first?
They'll
this part
probably be
goes
going
second,
off
this
of
part-
last year's
Okay,
on the way, so it usually goes, like the warnings, any kind of dedications, whatever in the beginning, the budget part, sports, and then appropriations in the back of the book.
Really? Yeah.
So if we want to reorganize
The
that, I
contact-
can kind of give them like a guide.
I don't think we need to, I think I just want to make sure everybody's aware of what that's gonna look like.
Does he run?
So that we're not surprised that,
That's nice.
like, so we're not surprised that like, oh, the
Tip to.
note about the auditor goes here, or the,
0.7.
the,
Is it right?
you know,
Yeah.
treasury report goes here, or
I like
the
that.
contact list is
I
here.
know.
I just,
Yeah.
the fewer surprises, the better. And then once it comes back from the printer, do we still have an opportunity to look at it and say, like,
Yeah,
"Yo,
give us
you screwed this up or left this page out or?
Yeah, if they, if something, if they have an extra page in there or whatever, we can give them the feedback and say, hey, do you mind switching this report and this report, so it comes before, I think
Okay.
last year we went through probably 3 iterations. Just because they're the things that were like left out or they looked kind of weird, so. Yeah.
All right, and again, because that's purely administrative to get that done, we don't really need to discuss that.
No, that can come back. We can put in any input that you guys have. I do have the last day to distribute the town report is the 21st of February. I don't know what their timeline is. Last year, I think we got it a couple of days
For actual
before.
printing,
Yeah,
take it back to the printer.
no, to be distributed to the voters. So it needs to be to them by the 21st.
And we have a mail delivery problem right now too.
Yeah.
That is the
That's good, we
only,
only have to
the other
deliver
thing.
to one place, the post office.
yeah, Mary Ann actually brought that up,
We're
last week.
thinking that maybe we could just put a sandwich board out when we know we're getting them and people could stop in and get them. But I think we have better luck. What happens is they all go out. They can't deliver them for whatever reason. We get them back and we get charged them for $2 a piece.
And they went nowhere in that situation.
Exactly. Would you print out labels for
Yeah.
all of the voters and
Yeah, we
put them
have
on there?
all orders, so we can find them easy. People know,
Okay.
if they can get there, then maybe we could mail
Okay.
some.
And we'll just
Get 3 of
make it a
them.
notice that you gotta pick them up this year, is what we're saying?
Yeah.
You just let
So
it-
I think that we've run into a notice issue there. I think we get credit for noticing it when we drop it off at the post office. If they don't manage to get it out until
Too late.
the day after town meeting, that
Is Jen
is an
know?
unsolvable problem.
It's the-
But
But we checked our box.
the way
The postmark.
all of those things work is the mailbox rule is
As soon as we get
it's
orders, which
the
is-
data code, not
Yeah,
I mean, we could do,
not
we're
almost delivery.
could do the seal boxes, because we know we could do any other things, we don't have a lot of other things, but we do have some. So we could do this, maybe half of, a lot of seal boxes.
Would, anybody that's supposed to get mail delivered to their houses, I would assume, especially by the end of February, will be accustomed to
We just.
coming to pick their mail.
Use your printer.
yeah,
And if you're coming to the town hall,
Want to do it in pencil.
I understand that we're paying them to put it in a different pile and that we're not functionally getting anything, but I think if, for instance, we were to be challenged on whether or not we had warned the meeting correctly by anyone in town who might be inclined to make that challenge, that it's worth the $2 a head to
to have proof that.
to be sure that
Given
we,
it.
we dropped it off and
You're saying mail them anyway.
Yeah, I think we're
I
fine.
don't really want to spend the $2, but I also don't. It's like this.
Yeah, if there's, everybody has to go there anyway, I think that's fine if you did.
Hasn't been-
I mean, you would have to go there to
It's
get
just
documents
that
from the IRS.
So if we don't sign it, but-
Right, like it's, yeah.
It's a good
Nobody
thing.
on this.
A lot of head in there.
So we can just continue.
I think Alfred is still delivering.
Next week.
I can also ask the printer if they have any rush delivery as well. Cause we can also just go pick it up when they're done. Last year, I think it took about a week and a half to get them all printed, maybe 2 weeks. But I know we got them out to people, to the post office before the.
We need them to sign it too.
Now you gotta fill in Jen's part by hand.
You can do that when we record it.
But it was printed last year.
All right, any other discussion about wanting a report and the other things? All right, next thing technically is First Branch Ambulance. I wonder if maybe we would just do approve orders so we can let Gail go 3 whole minutes early.
Motion to approve orders.
Second,
I'll say.
All right, we have,
everybody second.
Which one?
Curtis was loud.
I heard Paul make it and I thought I heard Curtis either first or
Curtis
last.
getting, that's what's.
Discussion, all in favor? Wait, you're gonna miss the approval. Any opposed? It passes.
Thanks,
There you
Gail.
go. Thank you, Gail. You almost missed the payoff.
Have a good nightingale.
Nightingale,
All right.
she is my flashlight, nightingale.
So, First Branch ambulance contract.
Anybody had a chance to review,
I think I said I was gonna circle back on the question of the town nurse. Was that part of this or was that separate?
it's separate, this is
that's
the
the
ambulance
MOU.
services.
Okay,
That we were supposed to talk about last Tuesday. And
yeah, that
I
I,
totally forgot.
yeah, as did
Yeah,
I.
I remembered it on Thursday. It's very helpful.
All right, so this is just, so, okay, I remember now. So this is just the contract.
yeah, it's just the, I think it's every 3 years that they re-up.
And these are just, these are, look like we were the same numbers that he presented anyway in the contract.
Yeah, yeah, they match up what
And
we got in
it
the.
goes till December 31st, right? Is it, it's a calendar year contract,
I think that's what he said, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, so 26 to 28.
Is there a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve the First Branch ambulance contract.
Second.
Oh,
You asked.
well, we knew Curtis wouldn't second. that. All right, we have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes. Do you need a signature or anything on that? or-
No, I can sign
You
up
can
on
sign it
it.
because we've seen it. Do we have anything for executive session this week? I don't think we had anything teed up. Nope, not needed. And that would bring us then to, well, actually, let me double check and make sure I didn't. skip
Yeah,
anything.
so we need to do the.
To Carrie's
informational date.
What's that?
Oh, the informational hearing. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so we need an informational.
Yes, so we need to have an informational meeting within 30 days of the town meeting and we need a 10-day notice for it. So, I need enough time to get it into the Herald, to post it up and everything. Last year, I believe it was February 21st. So it was kind of closer to the meeting date. I feel like that gives people, it keeps it fresh in their mind to be able to do that.
Can we not do the 24th?
Okay.
Because it's my birthday.
Wow.
What better way to spend your birthday?
Yeah, what better,
Kidding
what
me?
better piece of information?
Is the intention for it to be on a Tuesday?
You guys can pick
That's-
whatever day.
I'll be,
I'll do it any other day though.
I just mean, like, is there other, are we gonna be doing regular select board business that day too?
No, because it will have to be a separate meeting. So you can have it in the same day. It would just have to be at separate times and then be very clear about this is just an informational meeting. Also, informational meetings are just for the 2 items that are on, the Australian ballot. So it would be the elected officials and, the bylaws. So,
Or anything else we want to send on, right?
yeah, so like last year we had, an intro to the candidates, what's the other?
They did, I know they did like the trash topic one year.
We also
I
did
think they
the
might have
budget.
done policing or something. So I think we can basically give an overview of anything.
Yeah.
There, yeah.
But we don't have to, do we have to put all that in an agenda ahead of time?
Is there even an
Just the
agenda?
information.
Yeah, I'll have an agenda for it.
We're gonna go with the,
But like for the warning, we don't need an agenda. We just say there will be an informational meeting. Right, when we, or do we need the,
Last year we did an agenda.
in the actual,
notice, or warning. We have to come up with an agenda in order to notice the meeting.
Yes,
We do.
yes. Yeah, that's required for any of the meetings that the select board does.
informational meeting to discuss articles 1 and 2. But, budget presentation, so that will cover.
Yeah.
Pretty much everything else we're talking about in one form or another. introduction to candidates, public comments. Okay, yeah, so I mean, if that's the agenda, it's series. Literally just talking to the articles, a budget presentation. I think
Yeah, we can,
that feels pretty comprehensive.
we can add public comment,
Well, public comments is already there, so if they
Yeah,
have
but
anything
like-
else. we can-
have an extra one for select board, you know, additional, items, if you guys wanted to add anything in there. Or we could just, keep it like that, cause it's still pretty open for discussion to talk about.
We could have it be, select board presentation on budget and other topics or something like
And
that.
state of the union sort of thing.
State of the
Let's keep it lofty.
Well, yeah, that's why I wanted to keep it open, because then it's more of an open conversation, but.
So do we have a date?
So a date is what we're
Yeah,
looking for.
I-
Yeah.
I just,
It was a Friday last year. I don't think we should do it Friday.
Okay.
I
Not
have,
gonna hear me.
I'm gonna be,
Knocked out Tuesday and you're knocked out
Yeah, well-
Friday.
I have a trip, and I've done it between meetings. So Wednesday to Monday from the 11th until the 16th. I'll be.
Yeah. Regular select board meeting would be 3rd and the 17th.
So it's shouldn't be charging.
No,
I'm sorry, I know you said this, Tierney, but what's the window that it has to be within?
within 30 days of the meeting.
30 days, okay.
And I need at least a 10-day notice for it.
When's your birthday, Chuck?
24th.
Yeah, that's my calendar.
It comes after the police.
And I'm thinking the farther ahead, the less likely people are gonna come at all, let alone retain any of the info.
Yeah, and I can wait. I just wanted
If we
to.
did like Thursday, the 26th,
Right, yeah, I was thinking Wednesday or Thursday. 25 or 26.
Can we do Wednesday?
Wednesday, the 25th.
We have a writing.
You don't wanna bring it on?
I can bring my writing group.
Wednesday, the 25th. Yeah,
Here, all those are called texting groups now.
did anybody,
I don't have a text.
Let me see if.
so Wednesday, the 25th is fine with me,
Hold on.
fine with you. 25th,
Sure.
I gotta
I
make
mean, you'll
sure we
be
have
older then.
town hall.
so-
Yeah.
Still.
Curtis, is that?
No,
Wednesday, the
no, I've got a
25th?
few more.
Okay.
Before I get there.
So we probably need do we need a motion
I need
to,
to see if we're open.
I'm sorry, I need to see what, all I hear is, everybody hears that.
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Talking about the weird
I
buzzing?
can barely hear the voice.
Yoga.
Yeah, I think you do.
You do need to do something differently for
You-
keeping meetings for people. who-
Jen, do you remember when yoga ends? Cause it's not,
I believe.
it says it ends on the 11th of
Yeah, I believe
February.
that's the end.
Yeah.
Okay, cause I don't have anything for the 25th on there right now.
Put ourselves in there.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm putting it on right now.
We'll just do yoga while we do the information.
Who do I give $50 to?
And, just putting this out there, the 27th is the first writers read, and there are half a dozen local writers signed up to read what they've been writing, so I'd love to have you there, 6:30 to 8. It's at the library. If you're interested in hearing what people are writing,
What day of the week?
it's a Friday. Yeah, it's actually a really nice event. And it's nice to have an audience for writers to read their work.
Real quick, what time do you have?
Plug.
9:30?
Let's go with something different, like 6:30.
Something different? Spice it up a little bit?
For the info meeting?
Yeah.
6:30.
We can go as early or as late as you guys would like. Just remember that we're trying to make sure that the public's have a chance to get to it.
6:30 has a higher likelihood that I'm not sprinting in the door
Yeah.
or sprinting in the door 10 minutes late. So,
You will be somewhat critical in the presentation
yeah,
portion.
Yeah,
If we're
all not really gonna say anything, so.
We're gonna have it
Shadow
really
puppet.
well.
So this is my machine that I built. This is what it does.
Greg Graff.
It said that we're doing okay, but we should run
I dream in big.
Okay, so informational meeting, we said February, I forgot the date.
25th.
25th at 6:30.
It's a leap day.
We don't, because it's we don't need a motion for it, right? We
Nope.
just, agree to it, so.
Yeah, no, we're just gonna agree to it and then I'll notice it when it gets closer.
Okay.
And then we'll just do our normal review of the agenda, make sure everything's good, and then I can get it posted to everywhere.
All right, is that the last thing we needed for tonight?
You're gonna be in Florida that
I'm gonna
day?
be in Florida on the
Are
25th.
we doing taco
Are
next
you,
week?
are you,
Well, what are we
we
gonna do?
Josh, right now?
Cover that, sure.
I'm actually gonna be in Florida on the 25th.
Wow, you did
I can call in.
crazy.
Yeah.
I just booked my flights like 3 days
Must be
ago.
nice.
Sitting on
Sitting on a beach.
And then,
Do you wanna try to find a different date?
I don't do that. I hate to do that for me.
The week
Well,
before?
what, yeah, I was gonna say what,
It's a nice way to cover not being here on,
The
the
18th.
day that we announced that we have increased our.
Yeah, what about
Oh,
the,
taxes by 16%.
what about the 18th?
Yeah, 18th, 19th, and 20th are open.
Yeah, I can do those days. I'm sorry, I just.
Does anybody have a preference for Wednesday or Friday?
Thursday too. Or you said you are,
Wednesday is probably better for having a sober audience.
Not had sober audience.
Yeah, I just mean, right, Friday, you got people who are more thinking about the weekend than,
Yeah.
yeah. That, we said Wednesday, the 18th, right?
18th.
That would work for me.
Everybody else good?
Then we still get a young Chuck. Pre-birthday Chuck.
Chuck.
But then if we do it after his birthday, he's wizened and seasoned.
Probably not.
Curtis is still
That
there.
remains to be seen.
Wizened.
Okay, so 6:30 on February 18th. Everybody's,
I'm good.
You need to change the duration of that on that invite. Here, can you?
I book it just so
15
I have
minutes?
the time here.
Oh, it was 10:30. Okay, now it's 8:30.
all right. So are we good with that?
Yeah.
All right.
That should be good for me.
Now I think the only thing remaining is to adjourn.
Eric,
Make them-
it's your favorite motion.
It's my favorite motion is to adjourn. Yes, I
Second.
motion that we adjourn.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further
What
discussion?
makes you say that?
Is that Chuck this time?
No, that was-
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Marty, aye.
That passes at 9:17 PM. We are adjourned.
My last administrative item,